It's chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Coy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped and picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Hour 1 of Old School is sponsored by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in a happy Monday to you and yours. This is another week of Old School kicking off here at 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Sponsored, as always, by the good folks at Graham Tire Company. They're celebrating 75 years of serving the Midwest. More than just tires, they do all kinds of car and light truck repairs, too. From brakes to oil changes, trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. Graham Tire, getting you to the places that matter most. He's back. He's in full effect. It is the Husker Hall of Famer, the NFL vet. It is Mr. Jay Foreman. Cold like Minnesota here today, Jay.
Man. As long as they ain't got that hawk with it, though, man. Well, it's cold.
Walking out of the game on Friday night, Northeast, Southwest, it was cold walking in. I felt like I was about to lose my hands. Felt like a 3-mile walk from the front door down the parking lot with the equipment.
Was the game brutal. At Northeast? Or?
It was at Northeast, yeah.
And that, if you're not there early, you got a nice little trek to get to that gym.
I got there like halfway through the first quarter of the girls' game. I left here about 5, got there about 5:30 is when we walked in. Mm-hmm. And there were, I don't know, probably 50 stalls further down, closer to Adams Street there, but it didn't seem like that bad of a walk walking in.
Yeah.
But then it gets cold all of a sudden and the wind's blowing right in your face, and I've tripled.
And that school blocks the wind until you get outside of there.
Oh,
so, yeah.
It was brutal. Northwestern didn't do much blocking of Nebraska men's basketball. Especially in the second half. 77-58, Huskers win it. They moved 18-0, 7-0 in the Big Ten. Jay, Nebraska's best start to a season, obviously in the Big Ten, but the best start to a season by any Big Ten team since Ohio State started 24-0 back in 2010-11. Nebraska's 4th Big Ten road win of the year in 4 tries. The previous high for a season under Fred Hoiberg, just 3 wins on the road in the Big Ten.
I mean, this team is obviously exceeding all the expectations that anybody could have had on them going into the season. And they continue to answer the bell, and they continue. They're getting stronger. They're getting better. They're getting more efficient. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, there's game by game. There's things you want to do better, right? And obviously, there's the holes that you got to kind of plug, but the holes aren't unpluggable like in years before. I think that this team right here is set up to be what I like to call portable. That means you can play any type of style you want. You want to get up and down and score some points. They can play a little bit quicker if they need to, especially if they have the opportunity. They'll run on you if they want to get in a half court offense. I feel like they have the pieces in place and the spacing and the size and the different skill sets that offset each other, so they can kill you in the half court. They can defend a lot better than the people give them credit for. This is probably up until this, knock on wood, up until this point, the best any Fred Hoiberg's team collectively has rebounded, because of the differential in opponents' rebounds in Nebraska is always at or below the threshold that I like to look at, which is 6 to 8 rebounds.
Yeah.
So if you're going to if Nebraska gets out rebounded, and sometimes it's by the style that they play, right? If it's within 6 to 8, it's big money on Nebraska.
Yeah.
To win, because that lets you, because once it's at that point, the advantage goes to Fred Hoiberg and company and their skill set, and obviously they have a deeper bench than originally thought. There's a reason why Fred Hoiberg was talking glowingly about Braden Frager. I think it's really good. They're doing a good job of keeping him coming off the bench, because I think sometimes you can see, and you see this sometimes, you see this a lot, and you're seeing it with Carr up at Michigan State. Remember what, when he was very, very electric coming off the bench, bigger games. Going from that coming off the bench to starting is like, high school algebra to like college, arithmetic.
Well, and even just the personality of the guy that you would probably replace from the starting lineup. I mean, Jamarcus Lawrence came back. You're not getting rid of him. You like having a second guard perimeter defender out there. You're not benching Price Sanford. It has to be Berke Buchtengel, but with what he means to the defense. And I think as consistent as Berke's gotten, maybe not in a box score sense, Jay, but Berke is probably Nebraska's best defender. They've given him a lot of credit for that over the years. Frager's fine defensively. I thought both those guys did a pretty phenomenal job overall on Nick Martinelli. I mean, 22 points on 20 shots for him. And when Nebraska made its run, Northwestern, I thought, number one, didn't necessarily force feed Martinelli to try to stop the run. But number two, Nebraska was able to guard him one-on-one, right? Yeah. They would deny him the ball. They would not allow Northwestern to work it back around the perimeter. I was impressed with what both Berke Buchtengel and Braden Frager did defensively on Nick Martinelli. Again, 22 on 20. You live with that at 10 rebounds, but 8 of those were in the first half, only 2 rebounds after halftime. But with what Berke means defensively, and with the way I think his personality and game mesh with that starting lineup, it makes sense to continue to start that unit, especially when Frager's the better scorer, can come off the bench for a little offensive pop as well.
Yeah, and I think, look, man, he's still redshirt freshman. He's still inexperienced, and you're still trying to bring him along at the right time. So, I think that, obviously it's good on Fred to kind of make sure that you keep the main thing. It's good on Braden to accept the challenge where he's at and continue to get better at his role. So, and it coincides with, Rink, having, a little bit more reduced minutes at times.
And we will get to that in our next segment.
Right.
There's a lot to get to with that.
This is the time to do it, because the later you get in the season, probably the possessions become less. The efficiency has to go up. The mindset has to go up. And that's where the experience factor has to be huge. So how do you get a young kid experience at the right time? And was the right time. Get him a ton of experience. So when the moment becomes big, he's not in a state of shock.
Now, he's played in some big moments, hasn't been in a state of shock. He's delivered down the stretch late, but you can continue to get those developmental reps. Jay, you mentioned the math, the numbers behind some of this one. I talked about this a little bit on post-game, but I'd love to know your thoughts, just kind of big picture, specifically against Northwestern. Would you give more credit to Nebraska's offense or Nebraska's defense in helping them win that game on Saturday? If you had to assign more credit one way or the other, you'd say defense?
I like it because you made their top scorer be a volume scorer. So that lets me know everybody was in tune with it. And because, getting off the bus, he was the second leading scorer in the nation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Tops in the Big Ten, just edged out Bryce Williams last year, too.
So you want to make sure you put him in a volume state. Why is that? Because if he's scoring 20 points on 20 shots, that means there's a significant amount of misses, right? That means there's a significant amount of times that other people aren't scoring. That means the team defense and the on-the-ball defense, if you're guarding them one-on-one, is good. And that's how you're able to then put your pace and pressure. There we
go.
That's
pace and pressure. P&P.
Fred, are you listening? What time is it? They probably got practice right about now.
They might be done.
Yeah,
their schedule changes a little
Fred,
bit.
Are you listening? I know I see Fred sometime, man. He'd be like, man, what this old football player want to talk basketball for me? But here we
Fred,
go,
it's coach to coach. Come on.
Yeah, Fred, listen here. It's homie to homie. Man, I used to know you in Minneapolis, so we go back way back in the day. Pace and pressure. There you go, Fred. Next time you get a vlog of Fred, I want to hear it. And then I need to go in. Yeah, then we're going to go in there and talk about it. But the pace and pressure goes on Northwestern.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're able to essentially give them another 20 burger. We did left you with 19 and some change.
Mm-hmm.
We
could have pushed it, but you're
pushed
welcome.
It. Yeah,
cool. We like you, Coach.
Yeah, we got Chicago. Now they had Chicago dogs on the way, right? Right. So that's what I think was the big factor.
I'm going to push back.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm going to say it was the offense. I mean, you look at 77 points, kind of middle of the road. 58 points allowed, really good. Northwestern isn't a great offense, but they were averaging like 74 points per game in Big Ten play. And so I think when you look at those surface numbers, yes, the defense, and certainly the defense deserves some credit. Northwestern scored an even 1 point per possession. That's not a great mark.
Right.
It's break even, which is absolute bare minimum, 58 points in 58 possessions. Here's this. Nebraska plays at an average tempo of 67 possessions per game. So Northwestern had 9 fewer possessions than that. Nebraska ended up with 11 fewer possessions. Nebraska only had 56 offensive possessions.
Was out of this world.
1.375 points per possession.
Yeah.
That's Purdue stuff. That's Gonzaga stuff. This is the Fred Hoiberg offense that I think we were promised. And I do think that as many kudos as the defense gets, in some ways, the offense can be Nebraska's best defense. Nebraska, shot almost double the threes and made more than double. 11 of 26 compared to 5 of 14. Northwestern shot 24 non-rim twos. So not dunks and not layups, 24 of them. There were twos not at the rim. Nebraska only shot 6. Nebraska scored on 59% of its possessions, turned it over on 9%. Northwestern scored on 46% of its possessions, turned it over on 19. You mentioned the rebounds. Nebraska got murked on the boards in the first half. Improved to only lose it by 2. In fact, out offensive rebounded Nebraska in the second, or out rebounded Northwestern in the second half. And the reason that I think Nebraska's offense can be its best defense, we'll start with games like this against Northwestern. In these trap games against middle to bottom tier teams in the Big Ten, is that they're not as skilled as you. And if you want to play that half court efficiency game, Nebraska's not up tempo. They're comfortable operating in the half court really as long as they're not taking the ball out of the basket. That's okay. That's the style they want to play. Northwestern didn't keep pace from 3, didn't act like they were interested at all in trying to bomb away even to get back into that game. They didn't up the ball pressure to make Nebraska turn it over, and they lost their advantage on the glass.
Yeah.
That was just a complete and utter boa constrictor performance that Nebraska put on Northwestern. So I think the fact that Nebraska can get so hot, they have 22 kill shots in 18 games this year, which is tied for 5th most in the country, runs of 10 or more. I've gone on 22 runs of 10 or more, which is obviously both offense and defense. But if you get into a defensive slugfest or you have a slow down type of game against Northwestern, like I think Saturday will be against Minnesota, like Michigan State turned into, and we'll get to them in a minute too, you can play slow and trust in your ability to execute. If you get into a high-paced game against a team that wants to run a little bit more, whether it's in Indiana or in Ohio State, you have the ability to do that as well, because why? You make the math work in your favor. Either way, either you're going to be extremely consistent at putting the ball in the basket in, a 75-plus possession game, or you can squeeze the life out of people on the defensive end and stack scoring possessions on the other end.
Yeah, and they can beat you in different ways, right? They get their hands on balls. They get, they had a plethora of steals. They, obviously won the assist, battle as well. So that lets you know when I talk about pace and pressure, that's what they're doing. Everybody thinks you need the pace needs to be so frantic that
pace doesn't just mean fast.
Yeah, it doesn't mean fast and doesn't mean you're always going to get a layup. It's how they're able to get down the floor in the pace that they're cutting and the pace that they're, getting to their spots. And that's why their spacing is so well. You are wearing the defense out. On top of when you're able to have a good game plan, I'm assuming they wanted to make Martinelli a score volume, right? And he 9 of 20, so I like that, right?
Oh yeah, only 4 free throws. He split
Right.
both of them.
So you
Didn't
forced
make
him
a 3 in the second half
so
either.
forced him into some hard shots. You didn't make them, and you were able to get them.
Same with Singleton, their second leading guy, 14 on 13.
And then you turned over Reed 4 times. So you went right to the head of the snake, right? I like it. I like the way they play. I think the way that they're able to be a chameleon there is going to pay off for them. And then you have different guys that can play different roles at different times. And Fred has enough confidence in them, and they do enough, obviously scouting and obviously self-scouting that they're able to make sure guys are ready when needed. And that's what you take confidence from going to Illinois, essentially having that game, in your hands, withstood their run, win it. Even like the Oklahoma game, being down, and then you need somebody to step up. Lawrence with back-to-back threes. Here comes the run, and it was all for nothing for Oklahoma having that double-digit lead. Kansas State, which was essentially a road game.
Yeah.
A battle. You were able to make that 50-50 play, that game-winning play down the stretch to kind of extend, this run that they're on as far as, being undefeated. And then you're able to go to Northwestern, a place that you hadn't been. And this is after living up to the challenge of, from a physical and mental standpoint against Michigan State, taking what you learned from there and the confidence, true confidence, after you just beat the brakes off of Oregon after that. So that means you validated what you did before. And then you doubled down on it against Northwestern. So, everything that they're doing is working. And so they just got to continue to, go about their business. They're a really good team, well coached. They're fun to watch though too. That's the really good thing. They're really, really fun to watch because they're playing really good basketball.
Lemon says Nebraska is going to be approximately 12 to 14 point favorites on Wednesday. We'll see about that. Interesting matchup against Washington on deck for the Huskers. Down Desmond Claude, guy that tore Nebraska up when he was at USC last year.
Yep.
He is on the shelf with an injury. He will not return this season. Washington's best players, Hannes Steinbach, is kind of an interior-oriented scoring type forward, averaging a double-double in the Big Ten as a freshman. He's a stud. I also like J.J. Mandequit, who's a freshman guard for them. But you're at home. You're a top 10 team. Shouldn't be any issues with that. As we flip this over then, Jay, from the quote-unquote trap games, right, to the bigger games. I think this Northwestern game was good practice for Nebraska in preparation for a team like Iowa, except Iowa's going to play the math a little bit more under McCollum. Minnesota's probably a nice middle ground point as well. But we've also seen Nebraska be able to take its style and not just punch at and punch up to, but go swing for swing, punch for punch with the heavyweights, right? The road win at Illinois, the home win over Michigan State, knocking off Purdue a couple years ago. The reason I think that the offense, again, is Nebraska's best defense in these big matchups is because if Nebraska is going to play these teams straight up and not try to figure out what its advantage is, it's going to get steamrolled.
Yeah.
Because Nebraska has gotten bigger, but Nebraska's not as big as Michigan.
Sure.
Nebraska's gotten, maybe more athletic. This might be a step back, but they're not as athletic across the board as Michigan State. They don't play with the same pace as Illinois, and they're a little bit younger, I think, less professional experience at the very least. And so if you're Fred Hoiberg and you rewind, let's just say 4 years, right, to the Griesel Bandemel team, Walker team, you have to figure out what your style is. How are you going to beat teams? It's with the math, right? If you're going to be smaller or less athletic, you need an equalizer.
Yeah.
If you're not going to be able to go, mano a mano, you either have to leverage the threat of the three-pointer and the low turnover rate, and then you have to add some surprisingly competent and consistent defense, not put other teams on the line. I mean, shoot, look at how Wisconsin took down Michigan, bombing away from three, 15 of 33. Michigan's the number one team in the country, beat top 10 teams by 30 points. They
Right.
did the best, MTE of Thanksgiving and Players era. Wisconsin has some talent. They weren't playing as well as Michigan was. What did they do? They had an advantage. Stretch and pop big men and some guards hit some timely shots over the top. I said this before. I'll say it again as we're 8 days out from this game. I give Nebraska more than a puncher's chance against Michigan because of their style of play. If Nebraska was going to play, just generic basketball, it would go into Ann Arbor and get stomped. It still might happen. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But I feel a lot better about Nebraska's chances against Michigan because what Nebraska does well, they've leveraged the threat of the three-point shot. Maybe Michigan dominates the offensive glass,
But Nebraska can make up for it by shooting well from three.
Yeah, and that'll bring them out of the lane, and so then therefore you're able to kind of, get some, offensive rebounds. So I think Nebraska can play against Michigan better straight up, but obviously they're going to game plan, and that's their advantage. Fred and the coaching staff is part of their advantage getting off the bus, because they'll be well scouted. They'll have a game plan that's Trump tight, and they'll be able to find a weakness. And if they go out there and execute, it's more in the puncher's chance. They're going to get going up to Ann Arbor. If you're watching the game, it should never be, oh, it's okay if they lose this one. This is one you expect to win. I think Nebraska has, at least the way they're playing now, which obviously they've been playing this well for quite some time.
22 games, technically. But
right. Is they could have the kryptonite to Michigan. And you don't have to have a magical night from the 3-point line for this Nebraska team.
Okay.
Wisconsin, maybe.
Okay.
Wisconsin hit to the point to where it kind of eliminated what Michigan's advantage was, right? But I think Nebraska can hit enough threes. Obviously, can't be out there shooting up bricks, but hit enough threes. But the intangibles and also the being able to win the situational basketball, I think that gives the advantage to Nebraska. But then also, I think the way that they play, that pace, I think it catches people by surprise.
Sure.
Because when they roll out there, they don't look like they're going to play with that type of pace. They don't. This team is more athletic, and it's I guess I'll go on a little tangent. This whole athletic thing that coaches talk about is stupid. Be honest with you, at every single level, you hear it all the time.
Is this just basketball, or does this apply to all sports?
All sports, but in particular basketball.
Okay.
Because they think it's easy to see. Because there's less people out there. You only got 10 guys on the court versus 22, right? And sure, Tristan Weir, Myles Garrett and those guys, yes, you can look and see Myles Garrett is significantly more athletic than 99% of the people, not only on this football field, walking the face of the earth.
But it's easier to see from his box jump videos than maybe his get off.
Right. But you just know it, right? Like Randy Moss. But the athletic thing is obsolete now because when you are well coached and you know how to play, that offsets that. The efficiency offsets that. And I think you get a lot of these immature coaches, that's the easiest thing to look towards. And when you want a good comparison, and this is why people talk about the game of football, the football players aren't as good, in particular quarterback play. It's the same mentality of, I'm going to take my best athlete and you're going to play quarterback from 4th grade to 12th grade. You're technically, or in theory, you're playing quarterback, but you're never being coached to be a quarterback.
Yeah.
Because you're the most athletic and we want to get you out. That's really good. But then when you play against teams that bite back, well, then you're like, oh, well, what happened in the playoffs, Lamar Jackson? What happened in the college football playoff? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you talk about being athletic and Nebraska's team is more athletic than people give them credit for, that's the lazy thing to look at it, because a lazy way to look at it. Because I saw Sam Hoiberg in high school. I watched him at Pius. I probably watched 10 games of his senior year, him and his brother. Them two dudes were cold-blooded.
Oh, yeah.
They had a plethora of dudes that went on to go places. They could play because they had this. What I was looking for is, because I had guys that I played with that end up playing in the NBA, and I obviously played football, is what they told me to look for. Like, can he get a shot off? Can he handle? Can he play with good pace? Can he create a shot? Can he shoot in traffic? Can he guard?
Yes.
So don't tell me. And sure, Sam's got here and has obviously dedicated himself in the weight room and all that stuff. But by doing that, he's accentuated what already he has.
Right.
So then you got Jamarcus Lawrence. So now, like, him being a defensive stalwart, so he is athletic.
Oh,
then you bring Frager. He's a big wing, like 6'5" to 6'7",
whatever.
Long arms. I've always told him, like, dude, you could be a first-round pick as outside linebacker, but he's doing pretty dang good at basketball, so what do I know? And then you got Burkay and, like, Price, that even though, say, like, you get guys that, say, like at Auburn, that might be more fleet of foot, their build and their smarts eliminates that. So
their fit in what they're being asked to do eliminates that.
Right. And that's coaching. So every year you're not going to be coaching the underwear Olympics guys that can do 20 in and out dribbles, create space, double step back, pump, but all that stuff. That's great. That's what coach is looking for now. Fred's looking for basketball players.
Mm-hmm.
So because he's playing the game of basketball, and they are blowing through people right now.
Yeah.
And guys are going in the locker room. It's like, man, I thought we were more athletic than those guys. And then you get piped on by Braden Frager, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then you're like, oh man, Price Stanford is coming down on the fast break. Oh yeah, I'll let him shoot. Well, then your eye just got busted out.
Right.
Now we're doing pick and pop with Rink Mass. Take that out there. Now I know he's struggling a little bit. Take that. Then here comes Jamarcus Lawrence that got a little bit of Ginsu. He'll mix you up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And then he'll go to the rack to you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's it. That's all you want. Okay. Well then, here comes my man like Garcia, and he's going to kind of be your brute force inside, and probably has that I don't know, small cardboard box vertical,
Right.
But he's efficient.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, then, I should be blocking his shot. Well, next thing you know, you're down by 12 points.
And you're doing something you haven't done before.
Right.
You have to play a way that you're not comfortable.
Oh,
whereas Nebraska has you right where they want you.
Then you're going to foul him. Okay, well, then we'll just put Sam up there. There's 2 points.
There you go.
Thanks for doing business. So now, when you talk about like that snake and that anaconda just tightening on you, it's all mental.
Yeah.
They see one brother out there, 4 white dudes. They were like, yeah, we should beat these dudes. Right? That's what they think.
Was that Racine?
Yeah. Then Racine had all brothers.
Okay, never mind. I take it back.
Yeah.
Comment strict from the record.
Yeah. Racine. Hey, the dude from Racine. I'll never forget this, man. I remember looking down there. I was like, these dudes got junky uniforms. I don't know if they really were like 15. Because one
seemed like there were 15 of them in the court at that time.
One had a mustache, and I'll never forget he had a Jerry curl. They tipped that ball over. I looked up, and I was like, dang, he dunked that thing pretty easy. Because I thought I had some hops.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we better get ready. By that time,
was the Jerry curl dripping?
It was wet.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was all up in everybody's grill. I was like, yeah, they got after us about 9 a.m. But by about 9:30, I knew that game was over.
That's about halftime.
It was halftime. Coach was like, let's get this thing down to 14. Man, they ain't missing.
Coach, that's 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, they throwing everything out the gym, too. Threw my stuff up against the little thing, got up in my face. How you like that? I was like, I don't like it very much.
Appreciate your honesty. There we go. You mentioned Rink Mast.
Yeah.
Is he struggling? Or is it just box score numbers? Let's talk about that next. Only 6 second-half minutes for him and not many against Oregon. That's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. This is Old School, brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows here in Hour 1. They're based out of Hallam, Nebraska. They offer free estimates, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family-owned with their own team of installers. Give them a call today for more information. You can do so 402-430-3852 or visit them online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Is Rink Mast struggling? That's the question we answer next.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
At Anderson Ford, we have commission-free guides who are paid to give you a great experience, not make a sale, so you can choose the best vehicle for you. Right now at Anderson Ford, lease a 2025 Ford Escape for $222 per month. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 4003618. Lease for $222 per month for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 5,000 plus first payment due at signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 2/2/26.
The place you call home should always be a place of comfort. Warm and cozy in winter, cool and relaxing in summer. If your home isn't delivering the comfort you expect, call Bryant. It's more than just hot and cold to them. It's about providing the best comfort solutions. And Bryant gives you a full 24-month test drive on your home comfort system. Get full details at BryantLincoln.com or call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street, online at doubleeagle.golf.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and wow, what a year it was at Koppel. The Koppel family would like to say thank you for a record-setting sales year in 2025. Now let's start 2026 off with the bang. New GMC Sierra pickups starting at $12,500 off list or 0% APR. Also hot off the presses, new Terrain leases at $299 per month. That's right, $299 per month on new GMC Terrain leases. So please stop on in the store or online at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G1388552 and G16518. 2,500 down with proof credit.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Hey, Lincoln and the surrounding area. Yin and Yang Acupuncture and Rune Wind Healing Arts is now open at 1701 South 17th Street in Suite 3G and ready to help you improve your general health. If you're experiencing pain, headaches, or any other issues, give Yin and Yang Acupuncture a call today at 402-480-1014 to schedule your appointment. For those struggling with deep tissue pain or just need an experienced massage therapist to melt the stress away, call Rune Wind Healing Arts at 402-601-9721 and schedule your appointment now. Visit Yin and Yang Acupuncture and Rune Wind Healing Arts today in Lincoln at 1701 South 17th Street in Suite 3G.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is Old School. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman with you here. Hour 1 of the show brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. All right, Jay, let's have the Rink Mass conversation. Minutes have been down, played just about 20 minutes each of the last couple games. Just 6 second-half minutes for Rink Mass against Northwestern. Is Rink Mass struggling? Is he slumping? Is it something else? Have we blown it out of proportion? How's Rink Mass been playing in your eyes?
I think, obviously everybody's going to point to the three-point shooting. So obviously he's coming back on that. And I think he's a good enough player and shooter that Fred knows. First of all, Fred's a shooter.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be hot all season unless it's a magical season. So I think it's, he's coming back from injury. I think it's one of those things that they're stair-stepping him and they're playing really good. So there's no reason to, overwork him. But I think when they need him, they'll play. They'll lean on him like they should because he's a matchup problem.
Yeah.
I thought he was decent against Northwestern, pretty efficient. Obviously, didn't play much in the second half.
Just 6 minutes in the second
6
half.
minutes. And so, but they had control of the game. I'm sure he's your oldest player, right?
Mm-hmm.
And got a lot of miles on him. And so they're, I don't think it's like he's in a slump or he's, getting benched. I think they're actually looking out for him as you should. And that's part of coaching, knowing your team, being invested in your team. It'd be different if he played that little of minutes and then they lost by 20.
Right.
Or they got killed on the boards by 20 or like 14 or something like that. but right now they're winning, and so right now Fred knows this is a long season. You're 18-0, but there's a lot more meat left on the bone. Rink's going to be a big part of that. He knows it. He's their leader. You've seen it at different times on the social media stuff that they put out. And so I don't think anything like negative about it. I just think it's part of those things. And you got to give Rink the kudos too, because it lets you know that he's confident enough in his skills that he's not worried about stats. He's worried about winning. Because he's done everything, not done everything he needs to do offensively, but he knows he can put it in the hoop anytime he wants.
That's why I don't want to make this conversation one that's trying to stir anything up. Right. No. This is not anti-Rink Mass by any means. But as Nebraska's highest profile player, I would argue still at this point in Rink Mass as the leader of this team, it is worth having the conversation. I mean, Jay, if we look at the last 5 games specifically since Nebraska returned just to conference play at the start of the new year, Rink Mass played 36 minutes against Michigan State, 35 and 32 on the road at Ohio State and Indiana. 17 minutes with foul trouble against Oregon, and then 20 minutes against Northwestern, just 6 of those in the second half. We can just take Northwestern, right? 14 minutes in a first half that was back and forth that Nebraska only led by 5 at the break for. And then once Nebraska really blew it open, then, okay, yep, it's in cruise control. We're fine without him. We can let him sit. Yeah. And I just from what I've been able to see watching, maybe it's something injury related. Maybe, like you said, it's maintenance. It's rehab. It's trying to get him to play through it. But really, I just think it's Nebraska hasn't needed him to be the guy. I mean, if you look at the games for Nebraska this year, right, we can go back to, Oklahoma, 34 minutes, 9 of 16. He was 4 of 9 from 3 for 26 points. Dropped 20, including the go-ahead bucket against Kansas State before the free throw, right? 31 to help bail Nebraska out against Winthrop. Ended up with 20 points against Creighton on 3 of 7 shooting. Hasn't exactly disappeared in the other games, but then, okay, conference play comes back around. Guess what? Rink Mass is gonna turn it back up. Didn't shoot it well from 3 against Wisconsin, just 1 of 6. Didn't have to play that much, 26 minutes. Illinois, tight game on the road, plays 34 minutes, goes 3 of 6 from 3. Okay, that's a big deal. Michigan State, right? Nebraska needed him. He was the matchup. He had to match Kohler or exceed him, right? He had to draw Carson Cooper out of the paint. 6 of 13 from 3. His counting stats, his traditional numbers won't look that great just because of the lack of minutes, but I'm not necessarily so concerned about the way Rink Mass is playing right now. He always seems to rise to the moment, just like plenty of other guys on Nebraska's team. To me, I go to what Brad says on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line, get the slump out of the way now. If you can even call it a slump, yes.
Yeah, that's
certainly a shooting slump for Rink Mass, who is just 4 of 19 over the last 4 games from 3. But, now that you save him, but you'd rather have Rink Mass be at his best against Michigan, Purdue, and Illinois again than against Northwestern and Oregon as currently constructed.
Yeah, I don't think it never crossed my mind that he's in a slump. I think that's a easy, lazy way to look at it. And it's not going at Brad or anything like that. I think, I was listening to, it was either Gilbert Arenas or Kenyon Martin was talking about basketball. Both of them have sons, obviously. One's in the NBA, one's in college, obviously. And they were talking about how they explained the game to him. And I remember having a conversation with Walt West, who was my coach, and Clem Haskins, because we were down at camp, and then obviously my dad. And we're in the same conversation. You can go 0 for 10 one game, 8 for 10, 6 for 10, 4 for 10, 2 for 10, 10 for 10. But when you add it all up, the percentage is still a very, very good percentage.
Yeah, he's shooting 35% from 3, which is all Nebraska needs.
Right. And so for Ring, I don't think he's in a slump. I think it's very smart and very strategic, learning from the past where they had to maybe overextend his minutes, not last season, obviously, but the season before. He played through, obviously, an injury 2 seasons ago. They know to get to where this team can go and wants to go. They have, and this happens at every, like Kawhi Leonard, right? still, right? I mean, his is maybe a little bit more drastic where he's just like, I need a week off. But those guys, that's what you do. Once you get a lead, man, you sent your veterans down, and when it's a big game, he's going to handle his business. I mean, it's just part of the season. Every team has it. It's just that he's their most high profile player. He's probably their best player. The most dangerous player, because when he's on, he's a matchup problem.
He's the identity in a lot of ways.
He's the identity. And so that's where you're going to always wonder where he's at. And it's always easy for fans. And sometimes coaches can get in a vortex that like always get this I call it new car syndrome. Because Unknown Texter had the same thing. We talked about athletic. He's like, it used to be coded language for more black players. That is true. Yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine back home. I was like, man, I'm not a big racial thing. I was like, man, some of the obviously Caucasian coaches, they've almost got reverse racism. Like they can't believe this is how the psychology of some of the teams that they're playing. They can't believe that those dudes are actually athletic. So it plays right to Nebraska's
favor, right in their hands.
Right. Is Stanford going to come down and like 360 jam? No, but he'll pipe on you in a minute.
Well, he can turn the corner.
Yeah. And he can get to the rack on you. Oh, dang, I didn't know he was that quick. Well, that you boo-boo the fool then. Right? Because you've probably been seeing it all year, but you're not believing until you see it because
it's just whoever.
Oh, yeah. He, in Iowa, he just stood in the corner. There's a reason why he sat in the corner. No, it was Iowa not using all his skill set, or maybe that wasn't the offense.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you get jam session on. I'm sure the guy that got jammed on in Indiana was probably not thinking this freshman's going to pipe on me real quick.
Right. Not with a 3-inch height disadvantage.
Right.
Yeah.
He ain't right.
No.
And he hammered it on you.
Yeah.
And I wonder what his mindset was. He ain't doing it to me. I know exactly what he was thinking. I know exactly what he's saying. And then you just got hammered on. So I think it's with back to Rink. I just think he's fine. This doesn't even cross my mind.
Fair enough. With a younger guy, let's say, Rink was 2 years younger, right? 2 years ago, but they're having this level of success, and he's a junior or a sophomore or a junior by standing. Jay, who are the guys, maybe not even just take Rink out of it. Let me restart. Who are the guys that you want on the court to shoot through a slump, and who are the guys that you can afford to save the legs and trust they'll figure it out in the future?
Besides Rink?
Just in general, right? What kinds of players, what's the mentality, right? Because I think as a shooter, a guy as cerebral as Rink, there's an argument that, keep him out there, he'll figure his shot out because he's smart enough. But you have to balance that with, okay, they're only 7 games into the 20-game grind of the Big Ten play, coming off the knee surgery, and he's smart enough that you can just trust him that he'll get it figured out when he has to have it figured out.
Yeah, I think it's more mature players, both mentally and obviously age-wise, because Rink knows his body and knows his shot, right? And he's smart enough and has enough experience enough and know that whether it's good shots or not. So I look at their playing style. Is all the shots that he's shooting, are they within the offense, and are they good shots that he normally can make?
Yeah.
Then you're just fine with it because the law of averages will come back to where he's at. Whether you have somebody that's shooting and trying new things and just shooting shots to make it, to try to see if you can get one to go in, and then that's where their confidence comes from. That's the one that you have to watch out for because
it's dangerous. It's empty.
It's empty because as much as you think they can shoot you into a game, they will shoot you out of more games.
Yeah.
And so that's the tricky part from a coaching standpoint. It's not even about like the person. It's more the psychology in what they view as success on the basketball court. Yeah. But then you flip it all the way back. Then you give credit to the staff and all them that they're able to cipher through all that. And they're obviously, the one thing I'll say about Fred, whereas a lot of coaches, whether it's different levels, he's not a punisher.
No.
Right?
No.
And that's where you don't take the kid's confidence by being a punisher. Now you can hold them accountable. I guess you could punish them and then bring them back. But when you punish them and it's excessive, you could not only hurt that player's confidence, the other people on the team will lose confidence in you because they're in college, they're still humans. And they have various ages on their roster, obviously. Been through some grinds, and they know each other, and they know what everybody's made of. I've learned this, but I also know this from being a player and talk to people, because I'm not an NBA basketball player. I'm asking dudes that played basketball professionally. They're watching you. They're watching you and see how far you'll go and to see what you do. And he hasn't done that. That's why they know the roles, and that's why they're able to have the conversation with Rink in the preseason, probably during the beginning of the season. And then as these things, if it's limited minutes come about, the conversations are very easy.
You already had it.
You've already had it. Reminder, this is the deal.
Hey, here's the plan.
Right, here's the plan. Don't worry about the shots. Just keep, and Rink's probably working on the shot or whatever, and just go from there. Because what if you go and you shoot it and your mechanics are right, it's tight rim. What if it's like a shot that, it's a good shot and you just missed it? It just happens.
Yeah.
So, I think that's what I just talked about is really the foundation of this team, which then has made them train harder, be more connected, and then get better, quote unquote, athletically. And then they believe in the system. Why do they believe in the system? They have coaches that believe in them.
Yeah. It goes two ways.
And it's true belief, not just lip service.
Right.
Right. And it hasn't changed. I can't guarantee it because I'm not on the whatever. But Fred, I'm sure that belief was built whenever their offseason leading into this season started. So after they got their portal and they got everybody here, this is a blueprint that they put into effect, and they haven't wavered from it. And if they had to adjust it or compromise it, the communication is there and is paying off, like I said, tenfold.
Two brief points to wrap this up from my end. Number one, you mentioned it, and I think it's worth reiterating. Rink Mast isn't chasing stats. He's not on pace to be a first-team All-American. Might be second or third team by some outlets. And I think it would be cool if Nebraska would push to get his counting numbers up to give him that recognition. But it's not like Nebraska needs to rely on Rink Mast the same way Nebraska football did on Emma Johnson, for example.
Right. That's a great analogy.
Emma Johnson, at some points toward the end of the year, was all Nebraska had.
Yes.
Rink Mast is not all that Nebraska has, which is where you can get these big games back-to-back from Sanford and Frager and feel okay with where you're at because Rink Mast will pick it up again. As cool as it would be for Rink Mast to get those honors, and he still might. We don't know how the final 13 games will go. Nebraska doesn't need to even give the illusion of force-feeding Rink Mast just for stat padding because they're winning games and they're keeping the main thing. The other thing I'll add briefly here, Jay, is 37 minutes in the last two games for Rink Mast. He averages about 28 minutes per game, which is in line with his career average. I get it's good to rest the guy. Got to make sure he stays in rhythm while you're
you don't want him to
saving
get
his
rusty.
legs. Right.
You don't want to get rusty. I understand. And that's the line you got to draw, and that's where, but when you have constant checks and balances, Austin, as a coaching staff, as a player, you communicate that. Right. Hey, I know you're trying to rest me, man, but I just feel a little bit off in rhythm. And then you get a couple more minutes, and then you'll be right back.
Give me this segment.
Right. Yeah. So, I think that's part of the deal, man. I mean, they're doing a great job, and that's where they're a buzzsaw right now.
They sure are. We'll go to break. We will wrap up hour one of Old School, brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, back to wrap up the hour after this.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, Lincoln and the surrounding area. Yin and Yang Acupuncture and Rune Wind Healing Arts is now open at 1701 South 17th Street in Suite 3G and ready to help you improve your general health. If you're experiencing pain, headaches, or any other issues, give Yin and Yang Acupuncture a call today at 402-480-1014 to schedule your appointment. For those struggling with deep tissue pain or just need an experienced massage therapist to melt the stress away, call Rune Wind Healing Arts at 402-601-9721 and schedule your appointment now. Visit Yin and Yang Acupuncture and Rune Wind Healing Arts today in Lincoln at 1701 South 17th Street in Suite 3G.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320. Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in, wrapping up Hour 1 of Old School. Austin Ormond and Jay Foreman. Hour 1 brought to you, as always, by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Check them out online, heartlandofnebraskawindows.com for more. Jay, we'll start turning our attention to the NFL here. I know Nick would not let it go that the Buffalo Bills released Sean McDermott from his coaching
it made
duties.
his day.
It really did. He was a little too excited about that.
That's what happens when your team don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, I know all about that. But even though I'm not going to hammer on that point, I'm going to touch on it, but in a different way. One of the lead candidates being named for that Bills job, or at least a guy with interest, former offensive coordinator Brian Daboll, recently fired as head coach of the New York Giants. And then Ian Rappaport broke the news today that the Kansas City Chiefs were bringing Eric Bieniemy back to interview for their offensive coordinator position. So, Jay, I ask you simply, which quarterback would benefit more from a reunion with his old offensive coordinator?
Ooh, that's tough. Well, I mean, I'd probably say Mahomes, because they need an uptick in the details and intensity that Eric Bieniemy had them on when he was there. The offense is significantly different, as you can tell. They did more with less at times. Obviously, you had a Hall of Famer in Kelsey, but they are able to, resurrect careers and stuff like that. So I think he has an eye for development as well, as far as Bieniemy goes, both on and off the field. So I give the nod to Bieniemy because on the flip side, Daboll is the one that kind of jump-started, him and Greg Roman jump-started Josh Allen on this trajectory. Josh Allen is balling right now. Their offense wasn't the problem. Now the turnovers and stuff like that, that's more self-correction. So I'll just say Bieniemy going back to Kansas City.
Fair enough. Let's talk through those games. We'll start in the AFC, Denver, Buffalo, and Houston, New England. We will talk about that. The NFC coming up in the second segment of the 4 o'clock hour. And then all things transfer portal, all things national championship game, Miami and Indiana on the sneak coming up yet tonight. So we will decide a champion in college football. Jay Foreman there, Austin Orman here. This is Old School, brought to you by Graham Tire.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Just got the brakes fixed on my car today.
You did? You haven't even left the office.
I didn't need to. I got a guy who picks up my car and drops it off when it's done.
Well, who's your guy?
Graham Tire. They have pickup and delivery service at all 5 of their Lincoln locations.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Tired of your furnace running overtime this winter? Let Heartland of Nebraska Windows save the day. Upgrade to stunning, energy-saving triple-pane vinyl windows installed by their team of experts. Every window comes with a lifetime warranty on everything, all for a price you can actually afford. Free estimates, flawless replacements, and peace of mind from a family-owned business you can trust. Don't wait. Call Heartland of Nebraska Windows at 402-430-3852 or visit heartlandofnebraskawindows.com today.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with
and stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your Graze table today at grazingouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney location. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts, answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome back in hour 2 of Old School here on a chilly but beautiful Monday in the capital city. I'm Austin. He is Jay. Old School brought to you by Graham Tire Company. They're celebrating 75 years of serving the Midwest. More than just tires, they do all kinds of car and light truck repairs too. From brakes to oil changes, trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. Graham Tire, getting you to the places that matter most. 402-464-5685. Got anything on your mind as we talk NFL playoffs here in hour 2 of the show? Jay, let's start just one state over in Colorado. Buffalo falls to Denver, another heartbreaker for the Bills. Don't need to remind you or fellow Bills fans. Now, 3 straight years, the Bills have lost by 3 points in the playoffs, the previous 2 times to the Chiefs and this year to the Broncos. Been an incredible run for the Bills, but so little, big picture playoff success to go off of. And the game was frustrating, right? Josh Allen doesn't turn it over 4 times.
Yeah.
He only led to 3 points, so that's kind of out of the norm. So, even if Josh Allen takes credit, takes blame for this loss specifically, he's not to blame for the way this era has gone.
No, I mean,
if it's up to you, who gets more blame? The guy that was fired and the coach, Sean McDermott, or the guy that got promoted, GM Brandon Beane, who's now president of football ops?
Definitely not Josh Allen, because he is.
Oh, yeah.
He's as far as him being to blame, he's over his playoff career, he's been spectacular.
Yeah.
I guess if anything, I would say I'm just going always back to going against the Chiefs. I'd say a little bit on the defensive staff, because I don't think it matched up very well with the way they were able to play offense. Now, maybe it was, I know they had, the rash of injuries that one year, but I go back to the year that they, had 13 seconds left, and you didn't know where Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce were.
The 2 guys you got to know where they are. Two.
If anybody else is going to beat you, fine.
Mm-hmm.
They both beat you in 13 seconds. That's on
McDermott. In the defensive staff.
Right.
Led by him, defensive-minded guy.
And he took over the reins.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Bean could have probably invested in the defense. I think you probably should have thought about a way to keep Harrison Phillips.
Sure.
Because he fits really good with Ed Oliver or Wood. Now they have Jaden Phillips, but the more the merrier, so you don't wear down Ed Phillips. Then I think they need, in the way at least the way they were playing defense, you need to have really good linebacker play. Lano was in and out of the lineup. Dotson they let go. He had a really good year, and then he's either in Seattle. No, he's actually in Miami of all places.
Yeah.
So I'd probably say it's upper management, but also then I think when and this is, I hate it because it reminds me of the Music City Miracle. When something bad happens, a coach gets fired. It's crazy because I still think it was a catch. Obviously, the Devontae Adams catch yesterday was a catch. Same type of thing. A coach is fired, and a very successful coach. I think he's 88-50, right?
Really good.
Yeah,
not including the playoffs.
But 88-50.
Yeah.
That's hard to replace. Very consistent. And look, man, sometimes, look, I mean, you know how many coaches were probably fired too quick during that Patriots run?
A lot.
Some of them justifiably so, but some, right? And Patrick Mahomes, and they were hard. It's a hard out, man. And I think it's probably a move. They were probably, this is what people don't really understand, because obviously, I was able to play in the NFL and still connected. When you got a new stadium on the horizon, sometimes they do fire the coach because they want turn a new page. Josh Allen's not going anywhere.
No.
But they will fire a coach because it's a new era starting. You see it sometimes in the NBA. You see it more importantly in times in NFL. It's whether you get a new stadium or a new GM, generally the coach is on the chopping block.
Which is not new territory for McDermott. I mean, his name had been brought up, with the playoffs coming. Right.
2 years. Actually, 2 years ago, or was it last year? It was last year. It was after they lost to the Chiefs at home when Stephon Diggs, there was a Hall of Fame catch. That would have put him in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
Because chances are Buffalo wins the Super Bowl. Chances are now you're elevated. Well, whatever. Now you might go with New England. So it was after that. But then you got to run it back, right? And then even though they won a division last year, they never looked dominant. That was the weakest team, right?
Sure.
So you couldn't. And then now you have a reason. And then also I think it's a copycat lead where you have these billionaires and they're like, okay, well, Mike Tomlin steps down. Pittsburgh's, having a new era starting. Why can't we? They kind of, both the teams are, they don't have a franchise quarterback, but they have a number one receiver. Buffalo doesn't. They got a pretty good defense. We got a dang good offense. They have a so-so offense. We have a so-so defense. So they're doing a lot of comparisons here, and it makes it a little bit easier. And it's probably something that's been brewing for a while. I just hate it for him because this was probably one of the cleanest games he's coached. Not a lot of time management and stuff like that. And why did you go on fourth and all that stuff? Trump tight. And, you just succumb to the Broncos.
Same colors, but out of upstate New York into the big city. Jay, how similar or different, obviously wildly different paradigms of success, right? Buffalo's been really good. The Giants haven't. But is it the same kind of dynamic now where a GM who's made a handful of questionable decisions is still in place? I mean, why if you're upper management in the Pegula family, why do you not clean house and do the full sweep? Why do you leave the GM in place and promote him and then have him hire a new coach? Does that tell you that the Brandon Beane's seat is colder than Bills fans might want it to be? Does he deserve some benefit of the doubt? Where are you at with that relationship?
Yeah, with Brandon Beane, it's he's done some good stuff. I mean,
he drafted Josh Allen.
He's done a lot more good than bad. But it's like, how did that conversation even come to not only you and the owner, unless the owner decided on his own to fire McDermott, and then you got a promotion,
right?
Not only are you the GM, now you're the president. So essentially, the owner is turning everything over to you. So then that would let me assume that you was like, oh, it's okay for him to go, I'm going to level up, just like with the Giants. The structure seems to be, and this is what John Harbaugh had in Baltimore, and this is what the hang-up was. He wasn't named the head coach until like yesterday, but it was a foregone conclusion as late as Thursday night that in Baltimore, he reported right to the owner.
Yeah.
Now it's different because him and Ozzie, and they got a great relationship, and I think it's DeCosta. They all kind of work together. But if there was a big deal, he would just pull up to the owner's, office. That's what he wants in New York, which is crazy because the GM that hired you is still around. So does he come in to the conversations in the owner's office after he's buzzed in and he's the GM? Or is he the GM only to gather information and then you build the team based off what you know or what you have done, like with your scouting department, and then his input?
Yeah.
The power structure now is so different in those two organizations, and a little bit odd. But it can work. It's worked in Baltimore. We'll see if it works. I think it'll work in the Giants. They got a long way to go, though.
They do.
And I wonder if Harbaugh was like, man, I maybe took that job too early. Because Harbaugh in Buffalo?
Yeah.
With Josh Allen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you get out of the Mahomes conference for the first time in a while. I mean, think about the quarterback structure in the AFC compared to the NFC.
It is
a much different world.
Easier pickings. But he has
Philly and San Fran might be more complete. But the quarterback question, AFC is the better quarterback conference
for sure.
right now.
Yeah. And it's deeper, too.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think C.J. Stroud is in tier 2 and 3 of the AFC, and he's obviously better than anybody that the Giants or anybody has on their roster. I just wonder, they got pieces in New York, so you're going up against the Cowboys. You always feel like you got a toughness advantage against them.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Commanders, and so it's like wait and see. What's Jaden Daniels? What are they going to? They don't really, you got Scary Terry. Debo, okay, Ertz is he probably done, right?
Eckler's closer to done than
Eckler's probably closer to done. So they can draft well, right? Defensively, it seems like the Commanders are good, but they're not great.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have an elite pass rusher. Kind of you got to manufacture pressure. So where do you fit? And then Philly is probably the kind of the joker out of the thing. Like you just never. It's the wild card. Okay. What's it going to be next? Is A.J. Brown going to be? Because if A.J. Brown is not there, that changes Philly.
Big time.
It changes how you prepare for him.
Mm-hmm.
Because you figure like you just pay over top of Devontae Smith, and we are just trying to eliminate the run game.
Yeah.
And they're a year older. Lane Johnson, everybody else a year older. Mm-hmm. So if I'm Harbaugh, I like it there, but it's going to take it's going to be some lumps the first year.
We're off topic. We'll get back to the AFC here in just a sec. But for Philly specifically, with wide receiver drama like the Bills had with Stephon Diggs, does it feel like maybe Philly is in the early stages of the Sean McDermott cycle with Nick Sirianni?
Yeah,
but with a ring.
Yeah. And how long does that last?
Right.
I think it can still be rehabbed, but it's going to take a group effort. It's going to take, first of all, guys in the locker room to bring AJ and Jalen Hurts together, and you got to bring in Sirianni and maybe Howie and maybe Jeff Lurie too. Everybody's got to get there and say, listen, we have a 2 or 3, we have a 4-year window at max where we could really clip or have a chance at 2 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Is it important to you? Yes. Okay, so now we have to find a way to work together. Let's air all the grievances and let's actually start over and let's get back to this winning field. Because if they get their mentals right,
scary. You've called them the best roster in the NFL.
The best roster. I mean, you just can't. There's no weaknesses,
except the interpersonal dynamics.
Right. So if you can get out, if everybody can get out of their own way, because I could be like AJ. Okay, here, all right, dude, you want to go to Buffalo?
It's too cold up there, Coach.
Okay, where do you want to go? Because for your price tag, and we've been able to work with us, you want to go to the Dolphins?
I don't know. There's a building on West 56th Street in a winnable division.
Do you want to go to Indy? You don't have a quarterback.
I know.
Then you'd be unhappy there because nobody can get you the ball. So Jalen, okay, do you want to not have essentially a true number one in 1A and 1B?
No, Coach, I want one of those. Hey, guess what? He's in the building.
So I mean, it's interesting, man.
Back to the AFC playoffs.
Yeah.
Some credit goes to Denver. Obviously, played pretty well defensively for the most part. Bo Nix, we'll get to that in a minute, but I mean, has played pretty well all year. I was not pro Bo Nix. He's been a gamer, Jay. He's been a baller, and I think Sean Payton's done wonders for him.
I think that one game, against the Chiefs, he looked horrible. Remember he was skipping the ball out there on outs, and I don't know if he was hurt. Then they had the bye week, and then they got back right.
Yeah.
Be honest with you, with that game, Denver's offense was just fine. Their defense is what really let them down, and then obviously they were able to make some plays down the stretch. And Bo Nix really led them to that. Not really, did lead them to that victory. They're a well-balanced coach team. I like Denver. Obviously I don't like that they beat Buffalo. That defense is dynamic and serious. That offense, I like it. Sean Payton, the way he plays, calls plays. Bo Nix grew on me too. Now I think he can only get better. I think if they got a true number one, like if they had an A.J. Brown. Oof.
What if they had Jerry Jeudy back?
No. Have you seen Jerry Jeudy?
He was pretty good.
In Cleveland?
I'm saying for Denver, he was pretty good.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, no, the current Jerry Jeudy now.
Yeah. But A.J. Brown gives you that physicality, though.
Sure.
That Sean Payton would just exploit defenses with his play calling. A lot of favorable matchups and stuff like that. So, I like Denver. It's going to be an interesting AFC championship. Just because Bo Nix is out, do not count Denver out.
No.
Stidham can throw the rock.
He can.
And that defense really brings it in. And I know New England has a good defense. Denver's defense is going to bring it.
Some stats on Jarrett Stidham here. He would become the first NFL quarterback to start in the conference championship round or later after not throwing a single pass during the regular season since quarterback starts were first tracked in 1950. And the Broncos were the only team in the NFL whose backup quarterback did not attempt a single pass this season. Guess what? They were the only team in the NFL whose backup quarterback did not attempt a single pass last season either.
Yeah.
It's been preseason, and that's it for Jarrett Stidham for the last couple of years there in Denver. Man, Jay, to be able to come off the bench like that, that'd be Philip Rivers-esque. But better. You're in the playoffs.
Oh, and he's younger, too. He's got all the confidence in the world. You got to remember, when him and Bo Nix went at it in training camp, he felt like he was the better quarterback.
Yeah.
But then, obviously, he was a really good teammate. And then they compensated him because he's a really good backup. And I'm sure, he's got a lot of pressure. The most important pressure that he's feeling is being able to play his best game for his team, and obviously rise to the occasion. It can be done. And you should have a lot of confidence in Sean Payton as the play caller. He's going to put you in favorable positions to be successful. Now the pressure goes on to that offensive line. He needs a little bit more time, and guys got to get a little bit more open. So it can happen. Now there's also the caveat out there, like the little thing on the side of your head. You win this game, you play well, you could be a free agent, or you could be trade bait. You could get really paid.
Yeah.
Now, and I think he's already kind of made himself some money because everybody, has so much respect for Sean Payton and his development. And if he gives you the, hey, okay, you could go start at Arizona or something like that, and then obviously do real well. So, but look, man, you have these like trivia questions and facts for a reason until somebody breaks them.
Right.
It's only crazy and only odd until somebody does it. And he can do it. Like, Jeff Hostetler did it. There's other guys that have done it. Now, they've been able to take over in the middle of the season, so forth and so on. Frank Reich did it as well. And it parlayed into a great career. So,
and a coaching career after that.
A coaching career, right. And so he can do it. And they're full-fledged a team. And, the game speed is going to be a little bit different for him. And that's just part of it. And everybody goes through it. And I will tell you this, you can't replicate AFC Championship game speed. I've never been
on the road in Foxborough, place that knows AFC Championship.
Yeah, and I've never been blessed to do so, to beat it at that point. I know the difference between regular season speed and playoff speed, and it's way different. So he's got to catch up kind of two times. but I think he can do it.
That backup quarterback note parlays us into this with the New England Patriots. You take down the Houston Texans. There's the argument, Jay, that the Patriots hadn't played anybody in the regular season. They've now won handily twice in the playoffs now. And to that point, that hadn't played anybody. They had the easiest schedule in the NFL this year and the best injury luck. So easy schedule, and you have your whole team available. It was the second easiest schedule of any team in the 2000s by some advanced numbers, and the 10th easiest schedule for any team since the merger. That's how easy the Patriots had it. And yet, Jay, even if their true talent level is 11-6, 12-5 instead of 14-3, the Patriots don't look like a fluke. I mean, Vrabel's a good coach. Drake May's playing well. That defense is legit. And it pisses off fans of the AFC that it only took the Patriots like 2.5 years to rebuild and get back to this point and get this lucky with the schedule and the injuries.
Look, everybody wants this new school way of coaching where you're like, I guess, kumbaya or whatever. You just every meeting is filled with cupcakes and cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Vrabel does it. He's an old school coach. He's invested in his players. He knows his players. So essentially, what happened is the Patriots hired the person and then obviously they got an excellent coach as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that changes things overnight.
Yeah.
And then they were able to kind of reshape and have continuity from him being there as a player and obviously playing him, as being a Tennessee Titan coach, that the identity and the, I guess, characteristics of what they want in free agents and players is all the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had the guys that were presently on the roster. They were willing to adapt to that. There you go. I mean, I wouldn't say it's easy, but the recipe's easy. What did he do? Okay, he realizes Josh McDaniels is not a leader of a franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Josh McDaniels, I think, realizes it now, right? But what is he really good at? Calling plays and developing and working with quarterback.
Yeah.
Especially with a young quarterback with a lot of talent that doesn't have any scar tissue.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And then what do? You go get Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs knows. Before you even get to about the accountability, when you look at Mike Vrabel, he's a big old dude. Stephon Diggs is not a big dude. You're going to respect him anyways because he's no nonsense, and you're coming off an injury. So he's keeping it real with you. He's supported you with your off-the-field issues. All he wants you to do is play good football. And
he brought you into his house. You didn't go into his house.
But he's giving you a little leeway, though.
Okay.
Then that's what happened. See, that's the thing. Everybody thinks that you can be old school and not be a player's coach.
Yeah.
You can as long as they don't disrespect you. He's not being disrespected.
Tightening the leash doesn't care.
Right. And he's communicating with you when he's holding you accountable. And the one thing that they said that he's doing versus when, I guess, Bill Belichick is there now. And look, man, you don't win for 20 years in a row without having good culture. I mean, you just don't.
Full stop.
Is that if you make a mistake, you're not automatically coming in there thinking that you're cut.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Healthy fear, not
healthy
looking over
fear,
your shoulder,
but not a punisher.
Yeah.
So everybody's seeing it, and you're getting them to buy in, and that's it. Are they the most talented team? No.
But they're good enough.
But they're well coached. They're tough as nails. They have a standard, and they play to it. They play to their strengths. And you got an old school coach coaching younger players, so he's connecting with the players because he's actually getting to know the players, like truly getting to know the player. You can see it.
Yeah.
And then they have the easiest schedule. Yes, they've had the easiest path as far as getting to the AFC Championship. But when you're the number one seed and you've done it, well, you know what? You've done what you're supposed to do. You got an easy schedule. You took advantage of it. Everybody else is dookie down their legs. It's not their fault that, Nico Collins was out and Schultz was out and CJ Stroud decided to have a bad day. They just kind of capitalized on it.
Let's have the CJ Stroud conversation. You saw the talent, hasn't quite reached the heights of his rookie year. How much of that is CJ Stroud? How much of that is offensive line?
I think it's a little bit of both, but CJ's got to have a really good offseason. This has got to be a short vacation offseason. If I was him, I wouldn't leave Houston that much. I think he made strides in the middle of the season. I think he needs to play a lot better. I think he got a little bit intoxicated off of that first year and hasn't came back to it. I think he has a little bit too much revisionist history of this is what I did my rookie year. You're waiting for it to pop again. instead of going and creating it. That's the biggest thing with him. Now, I will tell you, they haven't had a good offensive line for a while, right? They just really haven't. And so what do you do then? You know, they give away what, a top 4 offense left tackle in Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah.
They missed on multiple draft choices. Now, I think their offensive line performed better this year than people expected. And here's also the biggest caveat. Joe Mixon has been out all season.
True.
Joe Mixon comes back. CJ Stroud is a different quarterback this year and next year.
Because 17 yards on 14 carries is not going to get it done.
No, but in Joe Mixon, he's a problem for defenses.
Mm-hmm.
So I think CJ Stroud needs to have a really good offseason. I think they need to get him whether it's Tank Dell coming back or another dynamic receiver. Christian Kirk and those guys did well, but I think Nico Collins was somebody comparable to him.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? Legit for 16, 17 games, I think is going to make CJ Stroud that much better. And I think he needs to get better at playing the position of quarterback. So that pass he threw when he was under pressure and he was falling back and getting hit and throwing it up in the air, you know you can't do that.
You shouldn't do that as a rookie. You might be able to get. Sorry, coach, my bad. I forgot. But
because you don't know any better. You know better, and so in those moments, it's a learning experience. It was an off day for him. I still think he's their franchise quarterback, but in order to get there, Josh Allen went through it.
Yeah,
he went through it too.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at him. And so whatever your weaknesses are, this is the offseason to really hone in on it and then take your game to the next level.
The other part is, again, credit to the Patriots. From Next Gen Stats, the NFL's Next Gen Stats account, the Patriots defense forced 14 tight window throws on 47 pass attempts. That's 30%, the highest rate by a defense over the last 6 postseasons. New England's defense was really good. They made his life tough. Obviously, that was amplified by the lack of the running game. But you give away, 28 expected points added across 5 turnovers, the most by a playoff defense since at least 2016. Perfect storm of bad for Houston. But who was still in that game, Jay, who led it 10-7, who gave up the 14 unanswered points to end the first half, and then they kicked the field goal down 11 in the third quarter. I get it. It's early. You'd like to think you have some more time, especially if your defense, which has been so good all year, can create a takeaway. Goes, 4th and 2 from the 8-yard line?
Yeah.
And you're kicking a field goal?
Yeah.
Maybe that's monitoring the situation, knowing your quarterback doesn't have it that day, and just taking the points while they're there. We'll get to not taking the points coming up in our next segment. But, man, if you can't trust your offense, you've driven, 50 yards plus down the field, you just got to get 2 yards to keep the drive going, give yourself at least 3 more cracks at the end zone. I didn't love that call to kick.
Yeah, I mean, that's, if you do it, and then you get back into the game and obviously potentially win the game, it's fine. But when you don't, and then obviously I don't think he kicked the field goal expecting the next drive they score that easily. So, you kind of leaned on the defense too much. You're not really explode. You come in, without, a full plethora of weapons. You're lucky to be there and you're on the road. It was a tall task, but you hate the turnovers and you look back at that and you can say, yeah, but really, who are you going to throw it to?
Sure.
Who can really go, who can go up on that team and really make a 50-50 catch right now?
So then is that an offensive coordinator issue? If you don't have something creative for 4th and 2 inside goal to go?
Yeah, well, the problem is you weren't able to run the ball conventionally. And I think, you had Chubb, who normally never fumbled one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And your couple of your really good receiver, Hutchinson, and then obviously the 2 receivers, other 2 receivers, they're rookies.
Higgins and Noel.
Yeah, and then you got Christian Kirk, and he's kind of a slot guy.
Yeah.
You could have probably maybe dialed up something, but the way that, and then also you got to think you're kicking that at based on your quarterback too, how he's been playing. So and he's fleet of foot, but he's not Josh Allen where you can, you can't Caleb Williams and all that stuff. So I mean, I think it was probably the right call. It just got out of hand, and unfortunately, it's a long off season for my man CJ.
Yeah, wasn't what lost him the game. Just curious to know the thought process. Here's this from Parker Gabriel, former Lincoln Journal-Star writer. Both J.K. Dobbins returned to practice and Ben DiNucci's signing to the practice squad are official today for the Broncos, who terminate the contract of practice squad outside linebacker Garrett Nelson.
Dang.
I know.
Man, see, that's messed up, man. Bo Nix, you better need to get that brother a check. Yeah, because it's your fault.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to run an option.
Sean Payton give that guy a check. You're the one called it.
But you know what?
Signed off on it.
If they win a Super Bowl, Garrett Nelson gets all that money, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And a ring, most important.
Yeah, ring. Hey, I'm a Super Bowl champ. Did you play? No, don't worry about that.
I'm a Super Bowl champ. Hear what I said.
Did you hear me? I'm a Super Bowl champ. That sucks. I mean, that's the part of being, on the practice squad and because I think DiNucci he's a quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucks, but Garrett to get picked up, and when you're on that practice squad with Denver, it gives you a little bit of credibility when you get on the wire. So we'll see what happens.
Best of luck to Garrett Nelson in the future. NFC playoffs discussion next on The Ticket.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your graze table today at grazinggouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America. touching lives, securing futures.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome back in. It is Old School. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman with you. Big thanks to our friends at Insomnia Cookies for everything they do for us here at the station. All sorts of good stuff going on over there on the corner of the 16th and Q Street. If you're craving something warm, sweet, and unforgettable, Insomnia Cookies has you covered. Whether you're hosting a party, planning an event, or getting ready for the holidays, Insomnia Cookies delivers fresh baked goodness right when you need it. Treat your guests to warm, melty classics, deluxe cookies, and even ice cream cookie sandwiches. Perfect for office celebrations, holiday get-togethers, birthday surprises, you name it. Order ahead or get it delivered. Make your next event a little sweeter with Insomnia Cookies. I heard from Rachel, the GM at Insomnia Cookies. She swung in, dropped them off like she normally does for our staff here. She said that if you're an Insomnia Cookies rewards member and it's below 26 degrees, walk in, show your rewards card, or point out that you're a rewards member, get a free classic cookie. That's simple. Sign up for rewards. It's cold outside. You know you want something, fresh, hot out of the oven. It's a sweet cookie. Insomnia Cookies at 16th and Q. Jay, we'll get the blowout out of the way here. Holy crap, Seattle.
I know.
Man.
I thought San Fran had a chance because Darnold was hurt and with the oblique injury. But that Seattle's defense is mad. They're pissed off.
That they allowed any points?
No, that people haven't been talking about them like Houston and Denver.
Sure.
Leonard Williams and crew are dominating. And you got Kenneth Walker III going, and they are physical out there on the edges with their two tight ends. They made a statement, man, and they're well on their way. I mean, who would have thought? You would have thought Philly would have been the NFC Championship, right? So either everything went through Philly or not. But now you have two NFC West teams going at it.
That you do.
And actually had 3 of the last 4. I mean, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So
underrated division for the best division in football, probably dragged down by the Cardinals.
Yeah, but the Cardinals are a diamond in the rough. But Seattle was really, really good. Smith and Jigba and crew. I mean, they're tough to beat, man.
Mm-hmm.
And Kenneth Walker III is going to have to. I think Charbonnet is out. Just ruled today, so he's going to have to carry the mail. But he's more than capable because he fought some knick-knack injuries, and he looks like the full strength right now.
So Benjamin Solak of ESPN tweeted this out. Kyle Shanahan has now coached 163 games as a head coach of the 49ers. And in only 4 of those games have the 49ers been held under 7 points. Jay, 2 of those times they've scored fewer than 7 points with Kyle Shanahan have come in January against the Seahawks this year.
I think the great thing about his offense is that they keep you off balance, but once you kind of get their I guess what they're trying to do, I wouldn't say they become easy to stop, but they become easier to stop. You got to think Kittle's hurt. Okay, so that kills you, right? And obviously going in the game, but you still don't have him.
Yeah.
You had obviously wide receiver, injuries, and then also people, Christian McCaffrey dinged his shoulder up as well.
Well, and he's at the end of a long rope. I mean, he's like second in touches for a guy at age 29 or above.
But he banged his shoulder up in the game, so then therefore you're able to really, hone in on him and get after him.
This is from The Ringer. By the time the 49ers played their 10th offensive snap on Saturday night, they already trailed the Seahawks by 3 scores.
Yeah. I mean, they came out first of all, first play of the game, house call.
Yeah.
Usually what happens sometimes after you get that big play, you lose the momentum because then the other team wakes up and they kind of take the lead. Well, they just started bum rushing you. And so Seattle was on. I think they felt a little disrespected because people gave the 49ers all the chances in the world to beat them. They proved to you otherwise, and they are getting to host the NFC Championship. Who would have thought with Sam Darnold, after the playoff performance and late season performance last year with the Vikings.
Yeah.
Signing for like 50-some million or whatever it is per year with Seattle, that he is now on the cusp of getting to the Super Bowl with an even better team and a team and city and franchise that fits him.
Yeah.
Crazy just in a year. Remember the talk was like, how much money did he cost himself?
Yeah.
And I bet you the Vikings wish they kept him franchise.
Oh, right now?
Right?
Yeah.
And then now you got Seattle with Mike McDonald is like,
who Baltimore kind of wishes if they knew this was going to come down the line. Imagine if he was back in Baltimore as head coach.
Yeah, they wish that he was still a coordinator. Which wouldn't have happened, but you never know what type of head coach you're going to get or going to lose when they go. And obviously Seattle struck gold with them so far.
We'll talk about the loser in the other half of the NFC divisional round here, Jay. In NFL playoff history, 4 teams have had a game-tying touchdown, including the extra point in the last 30 seconds of the fourth quarter. All 4 of those teams would go on to lose in overtime. It was Seattle in 87, the Chargers in 2004, 2015, Green Bay scored with time expired, kicked the extra point, lost in overtime in 2015. And then Caleb Williams throws a 51-yard touchdown from the 14-yard line with 18 seconds to go in the game, and then they go on to lose in overtime. I mean, the typical mixed bag from Caleb Williams, a lot of great, a couple misses here and there, 3 interceptions, not going to get the job done. One of them may or may not have been his fault.
Yeah,
how do you judge that last one?
That last one, I think he had to flatten that thing out. It looked like he gave up on the route.
Did he give up, or did he just banana it instead of cut it hard?
He looked like he throttled down pretty good. But either way, he
didn't get there.
He knows, you need to get there, and the least worst thing is you break that pass up. There you go right there. So, but also I think that's part of the learning curve with Caleb Williams coming into his own, and just now fully getting command of this offense. 3 interceptions, two other ones in regulation. You'd like them not to have that. Chicago was a surprise this year, but one thing about the playoffs, man, I experienced this myself, is that just because you made it one year and you have a good nucleus come back doesn't mean that it's going to be able to, or you're going to be able to replicate that next year. That's why it's so important to keep pushing and getting those victories. But that was probably, that's one of the best throws I've seen in a long time.
I mean, you had a really good one last week, running up the left sideline, dropping it in the bucket.
But that was
against
even
the Packers.
better.
But then a 51-yard touchdown from the 14-yard line.
It wouldn't even say your back foot, off your heel.
With 3 guys in your face,
3 guys in
2
your
of them
face,
hitting you.
Accurate as all get out. You heard about his arm strength and arm talent. That's it. But it's his scrambling ability, his ability to escape.
He still honestly might have been in the pocket, just way deep downfield.
20-some yards, he retreated. Looked like old Fran Tarkenton back in the day. So, I mean, good up.
Bears fans might not like that comparison, but it's accurate.
Yeah, good kudos to him. But you know what? I mean, he would have given that back a chance to win. And tip your hat to the Rams, man. They were tough as nails. Had the momentum of the game, withstood the kind of run of Chicago. Made the play that they needed to make. Look, they had the ball first in overtime. Chicago stops them. Here comes this moment. Chicago's kind of methodically just moving the ball down the field and throw that interception. And here's where McVay is old school with Stafford. They were like, oh, we got you on the ropes. We're going to go tempo and just start punching you in the face. And that was it.
They did that in overtime. Did they get a little conservative at the end of regulation?
Yeah, but they learned from it. A lot of coaches would take that into overtime. Yeah. McVay learned from it. He even said it. He got out coached, but they got the W. I'd rather get out coached and win than versus losing and get out coached. And so onward, upward for the Rams in this next game with them and boy, that's going to be a bloodbath.
I got some numbers on that. First number, Matthew Stafford just got his 55th career game-winning drive in the fourth quarter or overtime, 11 more than the next closest quarterback since he debuted in 2009. Some numbers on that Rams-Seahawks game, Jay, the rubber match. So since Seattle comes back to beat the Rams in Week 16, the Rams have logged 13,500 air miles to play 6,800 player snaps across 4 games featuring 650 total plays. Outscored their opponents 115-95 in those games, have led by less than 1 point on average during any single play. Seattle to Los Angeles to Atlanta to Seattle to Charlotte to Seattle to Chicago to Seattle. or to Los Angeles and now to Seattle.
Yeah.
Contrast that, the Seahawks have traveled fewer than 6,000 miles to play 2,400 fewer player snaps across one fewer game, 411 total plays versus 650 faced for the Rams. They've outscored their opponents instead of 115-95, 81-19, and have led by an average of 10 points on any given snap during these games. All these numbers according to The Athletic. That's the benefit of being the 1 seed. That's the benefit of winning your division, is that the Rams, according to a lot of the advanced numbers, Jay, have looked like the best or one of the top 3 teams in the NFL. But man, having to go on the road for 3 straight playoff games and you're living on the edge, tough way to make a living.
Yeah, we're going to see, because do you have one more in you? Mm-hmm. One more in you. And the betting person in me tells me that Seattle could put it on them. Mm. You just get worn out. But, man, those 2 teams know each other. They're competitive. Styles make fights.
The season series is 1-1.
Yeah, this
58-57 and 1 total yard separating them to 2 games.
It's going to be a white knuckle game. Yeah, this game is. And you got 2 quarterbacks. You got Stafford. He's got Super Bowl experience. Sean McVay is going to have those boys ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, this might be, with all the dynamics, this is going to be the game of the weekend. Mm. Because with the Bo Nix thing, I guess, with him being injured, you just wonder, you're kind of like, can Denver really go on the road and beat him with Stidham?
Just keep it close.
Yeah, keep it close. So we'll see.
2 good matchups.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like 2014 is back in the AFC, but
yeah, I know. Where's Tim Tebow?
You still trying to play minor league baseball or something?
Hey, you might
on SEC Network? I don't know.
You might decide Tim Tebow.
Do it. Come on, Denver. Let's do it. That's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Orman. We'll wrap up hour 2 of Old School in just a sec.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is Old School. Oscar Norman, Jay Foreman with you. Final segment of our second hour, brought to you as always by Love Volleyball Nebraska. Get your tickets online at lovbneb.com. I apologize if I misspoke. Denver will be at home hosting the Patriots. That's my bad. My bad. I goofed. I'm sorry. Jay, let's get to this as we turn our eyes to the national championship game. Players on the field for warm-ups right now down Hard Rock Stadium. Bigger Miami icon, Pitbull, DJ Khaled, or Fat Joe?
Pitbull.
Mr. 305?
Oh, for sure.
Got to be, right?
Yeah. I think he's a big booster, too.
He's the FIU guy now.
FIU, that's right, because he did the concert. But still.
In the field.
DJ Khaled, no way.
He had to run.
No.
DJ Khaled had to run.
Uncle Luke is the biggest icon in Miami.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then Trick Daddy. Then Flo Rida.
People forget. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Best Miami athlete of all time, non-Chuck Foreman division, of course. Whether it's the University of Miami or include the pro teams. Like, to me, it's got to be Marino, right?
I was going to say Marino. It might be Mike Irvin.
Really?
Yeah, I guess I'll go Dan Marino. He's the most iconic in Miami, right?
I'm for the Dolphins, certainly.
There's so many.
Zonka. Got to give it to Marino.
There's so many with the Hurricanes, though.
There are. I mean, do you take Ray Lewis or Ed Reed?
Ray, I guess.
I guess. You just don't know. You're also a linebacker. You're biased. Who's the best Heat player of all time? Are we going like Alonzo Mourning? Is that where we're at? Because Brown's only there for 4 years. Is it D Wade?
It's D Wade.
Okay, so then you taking D Wade or Marino?
Marino.
D Wade got the rings though.
I know, but it's still Marino. That's Jake Sorensen that stared at Marino for like 10 minutes, and then he went and got a picture with him. It's damn.
It only took him 10 minutes. He unfroze in 10 minutes.
Yeah, well,
wow, Jake. Okay.
He stared at LaDainian Tomlinson for 30 minutes until LaDainian Tomlinson was a little nervous. Like, who is this dude staring at me?
Who hired the PI?
Yeah, who hired the PI? Got to go smooth the waters over there. Then he finally took a picture with him. I said, hey, man, don't mind him over there. You're his favorite player from fantasy football.
5985 throws out Sean Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Sean Taylor, but obviously different circumstances, but yes.
Can I throw out the K-Train, Dontrell Willis, in this mix?
At the height of
his powers?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, he fell out quick, but I like Dontrell.
Who was Josh Beckett in Miami? Pretty darn good.
Yeah.
I'm still pissed at the Royals for trading Jeff Conine to the Marlins.
That's an old school name.
I know.
Yeah.
But they did it. It was dumb.
Yeah.
They traded Jeff Conine. They traded David Cone. The Royals, man.
I know. They're like the Midwest version of the Expos. Have some good players come through there. They end up just being great players everywhere else.
right. And shoot, I mean, the Royals might have won the 94 World Series had it not gone to strike in that era. But,
that's true.
So be it. Okay, if you're taking one Miami coach, Jay, any team, any franchise, best coach in Miami history.
No, you got to go with Don Shula.
Got to go Shula, don't you?
I was going to say Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy's
or Howard
Spo's not that far.
Who?
Eric Spoelstra.
No.
He's been good for a long time.
Is either Jimmy Johnson or is Don Shula, Jimmy Johnson, Howard Schnellenberger?
Yeah, I think
about
that's
them Kings, man.
Let's talk about it. Let's get to hour 3, National Championship Preview. Kicking off sooner than later. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll be back to hour 3 of Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all of the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Just got the brakes fixed on my car today.
You did? You haven't even left the office.
I didn't need to. I got a guy who picks up my car and drops it off when it's done.
Who's your guy?
Graham Tire. They have pickup and delivery service at all 5 of their Lincoln locations.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln. This is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Coy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts, answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Hour 3, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School, coming at you on this brisk, cold day, 1040 O Street, live in effect. Old School, the new school way. We want to give a big shout out to Graham Tire. They thanks for the support. I will be contacting them. I need some new tires. I always kind of go all with it. Because you know one thing about Austin, when you go and you get an oil change, you need new tires. Like you ain't gonna get me.
I know how to measure with a quarter, guys. Wasn't born yesterday.
Yeah, and I'll ride that bad boy to the end. But I gotta get over there to Graham Tire, so we appreciate them supporting us.
You made it work in Minnesota too, and in Nebraska when you're driving around, so you know you can handle it.
You gotta know how to ride. Ghost ride the whip sometimes.
Learn your car.
Learn your car.
Yeah.
Take care of your car. The car takes care of you. And then you head to Graham Tire, and they'll take care of everything else you can't take care of. So, anyways, it's National Championship night. Finally.
Woo!
On the cusp of potentially expanding the playoffs. We haven't even got through this year's playoffs. Miami Hurricanes, a big underdog for a championship game against the undefeated Indiana Hoosiers. And Kirk Cignetti and his crew, a well-rested Kirk Cignetti that said he slept to 9:30, would probably be, I don't know if it's the greatest story ever in college football, but one of the greatest stories ever. I mean, legends are made, movies are made off of this. So there's a lot of pressure for Indiana. I think more pressure is on them to complete the undefeated season versus Miami. Miami's playing with house money right now. But they're about to kick off here in about an hour and a half, 90 minutes, Austin. There's nothing like it. These 90 minutes go by so fast. It goes by so fast. You're waiting to get through warm-ups, and then you got to wait for the national anthem and all that stuff, and then you'll be able to get it on.
How was the pageantry when you guys were playing for national championships? Did it drag on past like a normal game, like you're running out of the tunnel?
No, Coach Osborne did a good job of kind of keeping us in the locker room and keeping us like contained. But it was bad when We were down and actually in Miami, Tennessee. We came out and at the same time. That probably was not the best move. Same with Florida. Where they came out at the same time, so there was there was pleasantries exchanged, and we were able to come out on the top. But these two teams, man, it's going to be a dogfight. I mean, you got two physical teams. I think Indiana doesn't get enough credit for how physical they are, how well coached they are, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Both of them have big challenges. I'm going to expect the knowns are going to show up. I think it's really going to come down to what complementary player or players play a huge role tonight. Because coming into the game, Indiana's going to focus and try to stop Tony, and they're going to try to speed up Carson Beck. Miami's going to try to hit in Mendoza and do really well in tackling an open field and do a good job against the run. Who steps up? That's the key.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you get down to these games because it's always about the stars. So you can play better. It's a quarterback battle, right? I get they're not on the field against each other. It's two physical defenses, whose stat line's going to look better. But as often as it's the stars that win these games, Jay, it is the role guys.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could go back through, 95, 97, and not that those games were close, but the guys that, maybe weren't your quote-unquote headlining guys that stepped up, made a play, maybe that got him in the stat sheet, or maybe it just made a play that someone else could make a play. Go watch it back on film. You need your guys to be guys, right? Mark Fletcher is going to have to be good for Miami. That offensive line for Miami has a tougher test than people might think on the surface to create some push against that Indiana defensive line. And then that goes the other way, right? Indiana's been an incredible offensive line all year long. If you're Miami, how creative can you get in getting Reuben Bain Jr. good matchups, right? He's got to be a dude tonight.
Yeah, he's got to be. I mean, he's got to be huge. And it's not just the sacks, because you could have one sack and then you just go for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
How are you? If Bain plays his game, he will disrupt the whole offense.
If they've got to commit 2+.
Yeah, if they got to commit 2+. And Indiana's offensive line is sneaky good. Their right tackle, number 67, is a little nicked up, and there's meat to be had on him, right? And so you got whoever's matched up against them one-on-one, you got to win. But then also Indiana's pretty good at, is eliminating that by both schematics, but then also, really trying to confuse them. So look for a little bit more motion out of Indiana to keep this Miami defense like on their heels a little bit. And then they're going to try to strike quick and get a lead, because that's where Indiana gets you. They come out, they make you make mistakes or let you make mistakes, and then they're really, really aggressive on offense and efficient. Then next thing you know, you're down 10-0, 14-0. Now you start to panic. And so Miami wants this thing to be a methodical game, 4 or 5 yards a carry, or close to 4 yards a carry, controlled passing game, 13, 14 play drives, lean on them, third or fourth quarter, really try to steamroll them and try to make this into a full-fledged, 10-round fight.
This is an Indiana team that's allowed 10 or fewer points 9 times in 15 games now, and it's only allowed 20 points twice. It's been a really, really solid defense pretty much all season long. It'd be one of those great kind of moments, Jay, if it was Miami pulling the upset. I'm sure Canes would get some flashbacks to 1983, right? Knocking off the juggernaut. You're in your home stadium.
Yeah, well, that's the Huskers.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They get some flashbacks.
Oh,
Indiana's trying to go 16-0. They're favored by 8.5 points, at least at last check right now. I think a lot of Miami fans would get some 1983 flashbacks, because Indiana has made the clutch play late.
Every single time.
Every time. They've answered the bell. I mean, Iowa pushed them. I think it was Penn State absolutely did.
Ohio State on the deep route there.
Yeah, in the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah.
Indiana's answered the bell. Miami is as good, if not better, than those teams. Obviously, they're the last team standing in Indiana's way on the way to a national championship. The flip side of that is, for Indiana, can you be 94 Nebraska?
Yeah.
Go into enemy territory, be the better team, start to finish all year, have that number 1 by your name, and handle business, right? Obviously, Miami as a program has been here before. Indiana hasn't. But neither of these teams have been on this stage before.
Definitely Indiana, but Miami hasn't been there even close in recent history. Last year was a little bit of fool's gold because it was Cam Ward, at least 3 or 4 games bringing you back from the depths of hell. Versus like this team has been pretty consistent, even though they have 2 losses. And those 2 losses, I would say they're self-inflicted wounds, right? Miscommunication between quarterback and receiver, not one time, but two times. It seems like they remedied that. Here's a quick point, Austin. I want your point on. I'll give my thoughts and yours. It's 62 degrees at kickoff with a chance of rain. In my opinion, that would favor Miami. Weather.
Okay.
Because that slows the game down.
Mhm.
It makes it more a game that they are more accustomed to play. And they can kind of get Indiana off their rhythm because Indiana's passing game is ultra efficient. It's a timing passing game. And that's why the pass rush is so important. But when the elements come into it, it could play a factor in whether Miami can keep it close and try to win it late or maybe extend the lead.
Depends on how portable you think Indiana is.
Yeah.
Because
I think, I mean,
I tend to think Indiana could hold up. But
I do too.
Whether it's in a shootout or a low-scoring game, right? Sometimes it comes down to who has the ball last. But if it is a game of limiting possessions, who do you trust to make fewer mistakes is what it would come down to for me. I mean, I totally take your point that you would probably favor Miami in the trenches, leaning on Indiana in the third and fourth quarter. But I just think Indiana's so buttoned up, right? Miami's had the killer penalty that they've overcome to this point. Could it bite him in the butt? In Miami's losses, it's been Carson Beck, right? He's made the mistake against an Indiana team that just doesn't make that many of them. So if Miami wants to slow the game down, if it is going to be precipitating at all, I can see that playing into Miami's favor. But it's not, I think, an overwhelming advantage for Miami. And they just have to avoid the backbreaker.
Yeah, Miami's got to make sure. I think the tighter the game, it favors Miami. I mean, because Indiana they like to knock you out quick. And that's what they've done against everybody else. And so Miami's got to play to their strengths. And I do think Indiana, this isn't the first team that Indiana's played that said that they're going to line up and try to punch you in the face.
Right.
And they've been able to not only hold up, but dominate teams that have tried to do that. Now, whether you think Iowa's run game is as good as Miami, that's that's up to you. But they've been able to handle physical contests against teams. When Oregon was, playing better earlier in the season, they did well against them. Illinois was supposed to do the same thing, but they, obviously they don't really run it as much. And then obviously the Penn State game and Iowa game, they were able to withstand that physicality and pull the games out, right at the end. And so if I'm Miami, I look at those two games, Iowa and Penn State, and look at how, and a little bit of Ohio State, and look at it, okay, what did they do that worked against Indiana for 4 quarters?
Yeah.
How did they play that game? And does that fit in or close to what we can do? And then you got to think you have a better team than the two teams that I mentioned.
Oh, yeah. Certainly at the skill positions, right? You take Carson Beck over.
Like it wasn't just dumb luck
player.
that Penn State brought you down to a legendary Heisman winning drive.
Right. No.
Penn State was able to stymie your offense.
Mm-hmm. And you got more NFL players.
Iowa, if the guy that caught it or just had his foot in bounds, game's over.
Yeah.
Now, granted, both of those games were on the road. This is the road game, and obviously Miami's going to be hyped up at home. It'll be interesting to see what type of mentality Miami has, especially if they get early success. Success. Indiana hasn't been really pushed. Penn State was probably the hardest they've been pushed.
Yeah.
They came back the next week and beat Wisconsin pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously beat the brakes off of Purdue. Ohio State pushed them. Don't get me wrong. I felt like Ohio State's game, that was ripe for the picking because they just beat Michigan, kind of just, emptied the tank.
And they, didn't make the Big Ten championship last year, but Indiana, that was their first one in 50 years or
50
so.
Years, yeah. And so they answered the bell, and then they just obliterated Alabama and Oregon.
Yeah.
Now, I think Alabama is fool's gold because you didn't have to worry about the run game against them. Oregon, I think, just got blitzed offensively, so you made them one-handed. So if Miami can stay on schedule, the game will be close. If they get, over their skis, Indiana, once they get rolling, boy, they're hard to beat. We saw it here with Nebraska, last year, or not this year, but last year. We've seen it everybody else that they do not take the foot off the gas. And once they find a weakness, they will exploit it every single time.
How important is Mario Cristobal's mindset if, let's say, Miami gets off to the good start? To not let Miami and that home crowd get feeling itself too much?
Oh, I mean, that's important. I mean, because he's got to stay in the moment. It's a long game. These games are long. And so that's why, you got to withstand the storm. You got to expect a little bit of a run per se from Indiana, expect an answer from Miami. But I think, Cristobal comes in the game with two game plans, and he's got to try to offset their Signetti and a trumped up tight Indiana crew, which Indiana, their mindset coming into a game like this, just from my experience, is like, we're playing against ourselves. Yes, Miami's a good team. We feel like we're a great team. We handle our business. We'll be okay. We don't have to worry about the spread. Our job is to win by one more point than what they have. And that's the mindset you have to have in a championship versus coming in as an underdog. You feel like sometimes you're being disrespected or something to prove. Indiana feels like Kirk Signetti is telling them, we are just going out to show people what we already know. We're the best team. We're undefeated. We're here for a reason. Go do what you got to do, win, and we'll go home.
What's it like having this long to prepare for one opponent? Obviously, it's a little different because you guys just had the one bowl game as opposed to having to prepare for another couple opponents between then and now.
Yeah.
But you've had, 10 days? Just to focus on Miami.
Yeah.
You might have had that during your bye week, but who knows when
or
you
your
actually
first
put your
game of the
first
season.
game.
Yeah.
Right. What's it like, Jay, going from, week after week after week, new game plan to now you got to know this one opponent like the back of your hand?
I think it's both teams should come in, mentally, locked in. I think the first part when you get back after, the previous game, which is obviously for Indiana against Oregon and Miami against Ole Miss, is that you want to get, healthy. So that's more lifting. And if you're trying to get some, cardio in and rehab, and then if you're on the field, you're kind of going back a little bit of spring ball mentality. Right now you're sprinkling in some Miami stuff, but you don't want to overload it to where you've seen it all the time and you've seen it so much coming up into the game where then you're really trying to play the plays and not going out there and playing football. So I think you stair step it as you implement the game plan offensively, defensively, and special teams. So you have it, and then you keep it more, just a little bit more information, a little bit more of the overload than a regular week. You do not want to make it. You don't want to keep just overloading with information early in the week and then you miss something at the end of the week. So you're kind of strategic with it.
How much of it's on a player too, just to be in the playbook and in the film?
I mean, you want to go back and you get kind of what you're thinking. I think you probably, you do some scouting and then you kind of get into it and then you probably have a day break in there, like after you initially come back, and then you implement the game plan. Like, because you have time as a coaching staff to say, okay, I like this. Let's try this. What do you think? Go out there and try to execute it. You get the vibe from the players, see if they like it, but you're not changing too much. You're just trying to get better at what you need to get better at. And if there's a weakness you're trying to exploit, you definitely are trying to hone in on that. But this game is going to come down to just like the playoffs in the NFL, fundamentals. What are we talking about Buffalo and Houston the most about? Turnovers.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And avoidable.
And avoidable ones. So the ability to get out of your own way and not punch yourself in the face in big games like this is probably one of the biggest attributes out there. And that includes coaching, right? Great clock management, great substitution timing, great clarity as far as when you're voicing, the calls to the play caller or the green dot, but then also a great communication and process from the field level up to the boxes as well. Because once that streamline is clear, then it goes to the players just like that as well.
Yeah.
So your process and it needs to be really, really tidied up. But then that by having that tidied up, that will let me know, or I'm going to assume that you worked on the things you need to work on that are very important. That's fundamentals, right? Fundamentals is lining up correctly, no procedure penalties, no late hits, no lining up off sides. Communication pre and post snap is great on defense. Communication pre and post snap offense is great. The shifting and timing, we're snapping the ball on time, right? We're holding the disguises and defenses. We're doing all that. Those are the things that kind of sometimes get glossed over late in the season, come back to bite you in championship games. And so that's what you should really focus on. And then obviously when you get into the game plan, there's only, a few things or new things that you're going to be able to put in at this point in time, because you've played championship football for 2 or 3 weeks, depending on what team you are up until now.
You become a champion long before you're crowned a champion.
Yeah. And you've been in, you're not going to put in 10 new plays.
No.
You're going to kind of try to execute.
Maybe a riff on a concept or two.
Yeah, you might do some options, right? And, you go back to the Chicago Rams game. So, obviously you had the deep over by Moore. They had the clear out route, right? So you really should have had the clear out route reading the safety. So you might have liked to seen Caleb try to get a deep over opposite route versus to that, kind of flood level route, right? So, those are the kind of the options you might see because somebody had success, whether they threw it to the receiver or not, from your film study. Because a lot of the plays that you put in are plays that actually weren't completed. What I mean by that is, is say like they had, I'll call it a spacing or a levels route, right? So say like they went
Well, we did
flat,
Whiteboard Wednesday, Michigan.
Right, yeah, flat, mid like 7 cut, and then you think you had a deep one. Well, then you go 7 post on that. Because what if you've seen 2 or 3 games in a row with that same concept, the safety kind of bite down too quick. Well, you got to expect creature of habit, hit him with it, and that could be a game-altering play. So you'll see early, what the little wrinkles are, but then once you kind of lock in the middle of the first quarter, you got to play some football.
We haven't talked about it. How big a deal is the Mendoza homecoming? Grew up a Miami guy. A lot
went
of
to
ties
Miami
back
football
there.
camp.
Yeah, Chris Columbus High, all that stuff.
And, his dad played with Cristobal.
Thought about transferring there before last year, but Miami didn't do it. Diaz didn't even offer him a walk-on spot back in the day.
Sounds like a little Joe Burrow in Nebraska. But I don't think it's a big deal for him to come and play. I don't think it's going to make him play any better or worse. I think it's a good story. His dad's like a eloquent doctor or something like that. He's like a real higher up doctor. So I think it's a great story. But I don't think it'll play to Miami's advantage. I think they're going to try to punish him. And if
like any quarterback, he's mortal once he gets pressured.
Yeah. So if he gets the Frank Costa treatment that we gave him in the Orange Bowl, that could be the advantage.
Do you think Frank Costa still has nightmares?
Yeah. He got beat up bad though, man. I mean, he got that affected his whole. He was never the same after that.
Was it personal or just business?
It was just business, but it was personally they were handling business. I feel sorry for him at times, but I'm glad
not for those 60 minutes.
Nah, man, I was like, dang, dude, you got beat up. But I think Mendoza will play well. It'd be interesting to see, how he plays. I think before the playoffs, majority of his yards came against lesser opponents. But these last 2 games, and especially the Oregon game, and more importantly, the Alabama game as well, he definitely looked like the Heisman winner.
Yeah.
He's made some big-time throws. That drive against Penn State, where you cannot take a sack, you can't do anything else, and that pass to Cooper was the real deal. Whew. So, they have some sneaky good athletes. You talk about being athletic, and they talk about the coded. Well, number 80 might be the fastest receiver in the nation for Indiana. Might be. Yeah, and so you sleep on him.
You knew Brandon Riley.
Yeah. Don't tell it. Hey, Brandon Riley think he real tight work though.
He made that catch on his back. It's pretty cool.
He was out of bounds.
I wasn't ruled out of bounds.
I know, but he was out of bounds. But if you let him tell it, he might be the coldest dude since it's sliced bread.
He is a wide receiver after all.
Every time I see him, he just looks. I'm just like, bro, I will crush you right now. To be honest with you, and second of all, you ain't that tight of work. I love Brandon though. I just laugh at him. I just
he could run.
Yeah, he could.
He could run.
Yeah.
Jackson Carpenter's got some big shoes to fill. Brandon Riley's.
I just Southwest Silverhawks finest.
There's a pipeline, Jay. There's a pipeline.
Oh, you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say, man, Jackson Carpenter though. He's a better athlete than you. That's what I'm gonna tell him. Yeah, thank you for that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna text him after the show. Hey man, I was over there at Lincoln Southwest High School. Your picture ain't nowhere, but they got Jackson Carpenter in there. Let them know.
Here's a trivia question for you, Jay.
All right.
Along with Kurt Cignetti, how many other head coaches have coached in both the FCS and FBS national championship games?
Poof. Number?
Yeah. Just how many others?
2.
The total number is 2, including Cignetti. 1 other coach.
Who would that be? Nick Saban?
Mr. Sweatervest.
Oh, Urban Meyer.
Jim Tressel.
Oh, Jim Tressel. That's
Jim
right.
Tressel.
That's right.
Four title game appearances at Youngstown State, and then Ohio State.
That's right. That is right, man. And he's like what, the president of Youngstown State now?
Yeah.
He's remember all the time people, I saw him at Hy-Vee? No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't. You saw somebody like uncle or something.
He's kind of an everyman. He would blend in.
Yeah. You think you see him, but you didn't. And then when you go try to find him, he's gone in Hy-Vee.
Jason Ghost.
Yeah.
Jim Tressel
Yeah,
style.
that's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to do when you're a championship coach. You know how to win championships, man.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's gonna be. Hopefully, it's a good game. I mean, it's gonna be. Yeah. If the Canes are playing like the Canes, like they can, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
I mean, that offensive line, man. I'm telling you, they throw people out the club.
It's so hard to think that Indiana won't win this one by multiple scores until you look at Miami. You're like, they're going to make this a dogfight.
Yeah.
I mean, the way these two teams play, as physical as they're going to be, I know we haven't seen Indiana running away with many of these games. But, man, national championship game at Hard Rock, two defense-first teams. I have a hard time seeing this one getting into the 30s and outside of more than like a 10 to 13-point swing.
I know, but Indiana, boy, you just can't make mistakes, and Carson Beck is playing good, got the experience. It'd be interesting to see what Miami does offensively, and they got to, if they can stay on schedule, Indiana's in a dogfight. Captain
Obvious on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line, I'm going for Indiana, but this might be the first and only Miami team that this Husker fan enjoys. Enjoy watching them because they're a fun team to watch play like a team, not a bunch of guys playing for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, this is a better team. I mean, they were an exciting team last year. This is a better team this year, and it's a change in defensive coordinator, it's a change in mindset. They're probably more enjoyable to watch. They went down to Texas A&M and won a straight up, street fight.
Mm-hmm.
Then they were able to go and beat Ole Miss. It was America's team for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then now they're in national championship, and so they are more pleasing to watch. I think they still have the flair, but it's obviously more calculated. And they're facing a juggernaut from a offense, defense, special teams. You're facing a team that doesn't have any glaring weaknesses as far as Indiana goes, and you're facing a team that is actually a team. That's why they are hard to beat. They are all invested, and they all are there for the right reasons. Now, obviously, Kirk Cignetti looks for certain qualities in his players, and a high percentage of 90% or higher are all in it for the right reasons, and you're seeing it out there on the field. So that's why they're so hard to beat. And then you got great players. You got to think you have a 1,000-yard runner in Roman Hinby, and you got Black that's probably a higher – I won't say he's a higher draft choice, but you got two NFL running backs.
Yeah.
At Indiana.
And you never talk about him.
At Indiana.
Yeah.
They had Thompson, the one running back.
Anthony Thompson, right?
Yeah, Anthony Thompson was the old school guy. Then they had the one that played for the Falcons for a while, a really fast one. Then I think they had Von Dunbar, because I remember.
Did he look like Brandon Riley too, or
no? Okay. No, negative. And then they have Von Dunbar. I had him in fantasy. One didn't do nothing, but but that was when the Indiana tried to change their uniforms and have the black face mask. Didn't work out too well.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna pick the Canes. I ain't changing. I'm picking the Canes tonight.
All right. I'll be different. I'll say Indiana. But not because I'm a Big Ten rooter.
I think it's either going to be a very close game and the Canes win, or it's going to be a blowout, which is easy to say, but that's just Indiana, what they've done. In this playoffs, they've gotten better and better. It's like almost like they've been stealing people's signals, like people have been saying. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If Kirk Cignetti did that I need a movie.
We already need a movie.
We already need a movie, but we need it.
This be a sequel.
Yeah, that's why you have short practice time. Don't worry, we got their playbook. We down. How'd you get? We all, man, listen. We got their password, right? We got their huddle tape, whatever it is. Yeah, so we'll see.
I don't see this one going like LSU Clemson a few years ago, right? I mean, Clemson led that game early. It was all back and forth, and LSU just took off.
Yeah.
I think if Indiana wins it by a couple scores, it's going to be a touchdown late in the fourth quarter. Kind of suck your soul sort of thing.
Yeah, kind of just put the nail in the coffin. So,
yeah,
I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's a good representation in college football, too, because you got two teams that weren't thought to be in the finals. let you know you can out-duel and outplay expensive rosters. With that being said, we're going to take a quick break, come back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll look at a little bit of the transfer portal with the Huskers. Got a couple of additions and a couple guys that went into the portal, found some homes. We'll be right back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Old School. We'll holler at you.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
You started your business to build something special. Now it's time to grow and protect it. At Pinnacle Bank, our treasury management services help you do just that. Through smarter payment technology, account administration, and fraud protection. So no matter the size of your business, you can get the most out of your financial operations. Request your free consultation at pinbank.com/consult. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
A lot of people in the summertime think, gee, I want to build a new home. By the time they go through the process of sitting down, getting the permits, and getting the home started, the home isn't done until January or February.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, and they've built neighborhoods in and around Lincoln for over 25 years.
I think the best time to start designing your new home is the month of January, because get an early start on it. Sit down, the snow's flying. Let's sit around the table. Let's drop some plans. Let's put numbers together. Let's get a budget put together, and let's get that thing started so that the home's done in summer or fall before school starts. So now is really the time to be contacting us to get an appointment to get the job done.
Make your dream a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your dream home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Clear your calendar. It's a volleyball weekend in Omaha. Love Nebraska returns to Baxter Arena for back-to-back home matches on January 30th and February 1st, facing Love Madison and Love Austin. 2 matches, 2 chances to see your hometown team compete as the season heats up. Featuring Lexi Rodriguez and Jordan Larson taking on the likes of Lauren Carlini and Maddie Skinner, and special moments throughout the weekend. This is your opportunity to catch all the action live. Make it one night or both nights. Get your tickets now at lobbneb.com/tickets.
Every winter, I struggle with feeling sluggish and down. I've read about the benefits of red light systems, but trying the Spectrum 7 at MaxTan has become my bright spot. A few sessions of full body red light, and I'm more energized and centered. It's my go-to winter boost, MaxTan.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Just got the brakes fixed on my car today.
You did? You haven't even left the office.
I didn't need to. I got a guy who picks up my car and drops it off when it's done.
Well, who's your guy?
Graham Tire. They have pickup and delivery service at all 5 of their Lincoln locations.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Second segment. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, old school, the Portal Vortex edition. The portal is officially closed as of Friday at midnight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody that can jump in the portal is in there. There's still some big names in there. Not obviously some. I don't think none of them are associated with Nebraska, but the portal and the late additions of big name players was strategic. And obviously, as school is back in session, you'll see some guys commit here pretty soon. Obviously, the big offensive tackle from Colorado. There was a picture taken of him down at LSU. Duke's quarterback, Mensah, is in the portal. Now, he is all signs that he's going to Miami for close to $10 million because they have to buy out his deal at Duke and then obviously pay him for this next year. So those are 2 headliners. But here at home at Nebraska, it's a little interesting because I think one of the names, he's a local flavor, so you want to give him a lot of the credit because I think it's a really good story when you have guys that come in, make a name for themselves, walk on or whatever, under the radar, and work their way into, I don't know if you want to call it stardom or whatever. But Kenneth Williams on January 17th is committed to Michigan State. Obviously, he's made a name for himself. Obviously, quite frankly, it was the Maryland game. Was put on scholarship after that. Mm-hmm. I don't know if the scholarship ran out this year or whatever. He jumped in the portal. Obviously, he had some other big returns as well. And he was a big part of the special teams, at least in the return game, turning around. He's up at Michigan State. Now, how is that important? And you have to look at the dynamic sometimes. You have a new coach and a new vision coming in there with Fitzgerald. But his best hire, in my opinion, is LeVar Woods away from Iowa.
Yeah.
A great recruiter. Great evaluator, but more importantly, a really good and established special teams coach. So what do you want? A really good returner. Mm-hmm. What did he do? Return well, not only in non-con in the in conference. So give kudos, give him a shout out to him. Nebraska does have some other guys that they can get back there in return. And then the day before, Nebraska had good news. They were able to get an interior defensive lineman, Owen Stoudemire, from Boston College. Didn't play much this year. Was injured. And so hopefully he's healthy and happy and healthy to come in. And he's going to have to look to if he's not looking to start, he's going to have to play a big role.
Mm-hmm.
Because you lost Judy, but then obviously they're going to a 4-man front. He has experience in a 4-man front. He was pretty productive as a junior, and obviously we saw him in the bowl game or played against Boston College at the bowl game. So hopefully he can get a little bit of resurgence in that the production obviously coming off injury. So he's probably really, really focused.
Outside of Calandre at quarterback,
Mhm.
who's the biggest impact guy in this class so far for Nebraska?
It has to be the offensive linemen, all of them collectively
Combined,
So you're thinking Mabinga, that's going to fill in the guard spot, Black, and then Tree at the tackle. That has to hit. Those guys have you went and got those guys that have some or Black has started for 3 years. The other two have kind of been rotational players. I think Mabinga actually was a full-time starter this year. So they have to develop. They have to be cohesive with Evans and obviously Pritchett to make a really good offensive line. They have to, because even though you got Calandra, he's quick and can run and be exciting and all that. This is the Big Ten is significantly different than the Mountain West. You will get hawked down and you will get punished.
Yeah.
At that size. So that's the biggest one. That has to work out magically.
Defensively, who do you think the biggest potential playmaker addition is? Who needs to hit, I guess, on defense, if that's a better way to phrase it?
I'm gonna go 2 dudes.
Okay.
And it's just mainly because of the familiarity with Oryx defense. So I'm gonna go Chambliss and McDougal. Reason why, it's the second and third level, right? So it's right up the middle. Chambliss kind of plays usually on the wing, but McDougal is a safety, so he can kind of work. He can kind of be a coach on the field, playmaker, knowing all the calls, knowing all the adjustments. He can articulate what the DC is saying because he knows it inside and out and has familiarity with him, not only as a coach, but as a person.
Yeah.
So he can kind of, lessen the burden of the learning curve, right? And same with Chambliss. Both of them have been productive in the Mountain West. Chambliss, I think, gives you some flexibility of, rushing the passer at 6'3", listed at 230 from the second level. Active, around the ball. That's what you want. Hopefully his experience of playing in this system can help the other guys like Shavers and all them. So I think those two, just because they came from San Diego State, handpicked guys that know the system. So you expect those guys to really be what I call bell cows from day one.
I would think a lot of Husker fans would say they want the defensive linemen to be impact guys.
Yeah.
But kind of the same discussion we've had with special teams for years, Chase, I think can apply here to the defensive line. You can be a big impact guy without a bunch of stats by just doing your job.
Oh, yeah.
I think big picture, Nebraska can have those guys who are the difference makers already on the roster, right? Williams-Nwaneri with another year. What does he look like? Can he get more consistent? Probably Nebraska's best defensive lineman throughout the course of the year by counting stats.
Yeah.
You like the flashes from Pedchock that you saw at times. Now when you're on the field more, what do you see? Cam Lenhart, what role do you fill? Riley Van Poppel, is there finally the breakout, maybe a year delayed from what people were thinking? So if Stodmeyer, if Whittington, if Anthony Jones was the other one.
Yeah.
If those guys can come in, fill their gaps, do their jobs, blow up a double team here and there to give those other guys one-on-ones, certainly worthwhile additions.
Yeah,
even if they don't make, huge impacts in the stats.
You got some flexibility. You think Whittington is going to probably be somebody that's going to be in a 4-3, going to be 3 techniques. So that's on the outside shade of a guard. He's going to be getting upfield, trying to provide some pass rush and play the run on the way to the quarterback, right? So you're thinking about, somebody anywhere from 10 to 20 plays. And then when you look at Jones, he gives you a little bit of flexibility at 6'5", 265. Obviously, going to be on the edge, but maybe if he shows some inside pass rush ability, you can kind of have that like NASCAR unit as far as, rushing the passer. So they look like they've been trying to get flexibility with a 4-man front. Now they just got to make sure that these guys are productive from game 1 to game 12. And it starts right now, and, they're invested into the offseason program, but Coach Rule said that, I don't know when he said it, but he said he feels like after Minchie kind of, decommitted, felt like they maybe have made an upgrade based on what the talent or the team needs right now as far as in Calandra coming in. Escapability, ability to kind of throw on the run, make some big plays, really explosive. plays, and you got Daniel Kalen as well, so he's kind of like the CEO. So, we'll see. I think offensive line is the better that they can kind of gel, it'd be better for the team because that's where your identity come from. If you want to create toughness, they got to be extra tough. Your defensive line is going to have to gel and do the same as well. So now they got all the coaches set, it seems, for the most part. I think I think Coach Rule said they might add one or two guys in the portal. We shall see. Now, the big news was you had a decommitment from Iowa Western D lineman that's going to Clemson. And, they were counting on him in some point, in some form or fashion. I watched a little bit of him on tape. He's pretty impressive. Now it's JUCO. Okay, so I'm well aware of that. But he has a good motor, plays with good leverage. And so when the likes of Clemson are looking at him, he's, come from a pretty good stock. So that's unfortunate news.
And if it all boils down to a math class, really, you can't pay Iowa Western a little bit to make it work?
Yeah, and he's just got a lot of work to do before June, so it's no deal. He's just missing the offseason.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they can, but it's working out for Clemson. I think Clemson maybe came in with a little bit more money at the end. And so you just never know. I mean, you look at it like a guy like Keona Davis, right? He's in the portal. He was visiting, I think, was it Miami we said last week?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So, those kind of decisions with Miami might be a little bit late because they're in the championship, obviously. But you wonder what the status is with him. Now it's the second year in a row he's went into the portal. So is that door closed, or where as far as where would he fit in when he came back? Because one of the things I want your opinion on it, and what text line is. Now this came out, from news outlets. Now I know GMs are putting it out there so the media people can write about it, but we know this is true. There's a lot of guys that weren't forced, according to this article, into the portal. That means they've chosen to go into the portal with bad advice. And then when they realized the advice that was given wasn't true, so when they come back, the spot's gone. And that's what you face. I always tell kids, everybody's had to compete, and sometimes the situation isn't ideal. Sometimes the coaches are, being, whatever. But ultimately, if you don't have two places to go, for sure, like lock and step, you've seen contracts or whatever it is, you have no business going in the portal. There's going to be guys that'll never play football again because they made an irrational, impulsive decision.
Yeah.
Now, what I hate is for the guys that are pushed into the portal that were willing to stick it out, and then guys that come in from the portal don't stick it out.
Right.
Because you're not replacing 1 for 1, you're going 1 for 0.
Right.
So it's tough.
It just stinks too, because I want to assume the best and that everyone's making the most informed decision they can at the time. Maybe you're the agent and you thought you had good information, something changed out of your control, and the decision was already made, right? Maybe you're a player who has an agent that you trust that's got a good reputation in the industry, which not a lot of college sports agents do at this point right now, much different than what's going on in the professional ranks. Maybe you trust them, and maybe this was just the one time that they made a mistake or had bad intel or didn't make that one extra call, whatever it is. I mean,
representation is key, and maybe even more key at the college level versus the pros.
When you're 18, 19, 20, 21, I got to keep going 23, 24, 25 years old now.
It doesn't matter. The reason why my main point is because any contract that's signed in the NFL has to be okay through the NFLPA.
Yeah.
Right. And generally, you have to be NFLPA certified. So you've kind of had background checks and all that stuff. And if you sign guys to what they deem are bad contracts that may be below market value or not kind of lock and step with guys that level have been getting, you're kind of red flag. Here, there is no certification. So if we knew somebody, me and you could be an agent. So that's how you get guys that are just looking to exploit these kids or make money off them.
And how are the kids supposed to know?
How are you supposed to know? Somebody you trust, get in the portal. Trust me, you're so good. All these other teams, so-and-so called me. Yeah, these guys that are like putting out feelers for potential guys in the portal, they probably have a list of about 50 kids that they call per guy up there in the recruiting department.
Yeah.
You're not special.
No.
And not to, be a hater, but you weren't their only call they made, unless that call was followed up with a PDF contract or what it looked like.
7543 chimes in. My stepson plays at Iowa Western. I watched all their games. The DT that flipped was certainly good. Very athletic. Also, I don't think he's 6'2", 295, closer to 6 foot, 275.
I was going to say that. Yeah, it's he's a little bit of embellishment, but that happens all the time.
Not to the Ace Bailey level, but
yeah. But
speaking of that, agent did that guy dirty.
Yeah, but that was like his uncle or something.
Key advisor.
Yeah. That's. Listen, man. I heard a guy that played at Nebraska here last year talking about you got a mentor about the process of this right here, bro. And once I found out who your mentor was, you right for you a knucklehead. You didn't got too big for your britches. You need a mentor. You going to the league now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're gonna see. I'm gonna keep a nice little eye on it. But anyways, we'll take a quick break. Come back. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. On when we come back, it's on down
Game
there in
time,
Miami.
baby.
Yeah. Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Just got the brakes fixed on my car today.
You did? You haven't even left the office.
I didn't need to. I got a guy who picks up my car and drops it off when it's done.
Well, who's your guy?
Graham Tire. They have pickup and delivery service at all 5 of their Lincoln locations.
Schedule your service online on the Pickup and Delivery tab at GrahamTireLincoln.com. That's GrahamTireLincoln.com. Let us do the running. Some limitations apply. See store for details.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
You started your business to build something special. Now it's time to grow and protect it. At Pinnacle Bank, our treasury management services help you do just that. Through smarter payment technology, account administration, and fraud protection. So no matter the size of your business, you can get the most out of your financial operations. Request your free consultation at pinbank.com/consult. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. Quick segment here before we put a bow on Championship Monday. Austin, any change? Now, this is the last. Are you still going with Indiana? This is it. You got about like 2 minutes, man. Can you talk yourself out of it?
I think we're set up for an incredible game.
Yeah.
Whatever happens.
I hope it is.
I do
hope
too.
it is.
I think college sports deserves it. No, I won't talk myself out of it.
I'm still going with the Canes.
Yeah.
Now, conspiracy theorist Austin Orman. Do you think it's a coincidence or a conspiracy that the Atlanta Falcons hired Kevin Stefanski and the Atlanta Falcons are the same team that prank called Shedeur Sanders during the
You know,
I'm going to take it a step further.
Oh, no. Oh,
when Deion Sanders played for the Braves, he's the one that threw water on Kevin Stefanski's father-in-law.
Hello.
And now he's back in Atlanta.
Okay.
Was it Tim McCarver?
Tim McCarver?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kevin Stefanski's wife is his daughter.
So then did Jeff Ulbricht's kid give Kevin Stefanski the number from the draft book? It's all coming together.
It's all coming together.
It's all coming together.
And did the league?
Then
since
I hadn't even considered that.
So since it's all scripted, is this all from the league? Because it had to be scripted for the Denver Broncos to win that game. That was a catch.
They hacked into Josh Allen's robot software and said, we're not doing this today.
I wonder what happened with Buffalo Bills, man, since they were AFL team.
Yeah.
They would keep screwing them over. People in Buffalo need a break, man. Fired the coach too. After a long flight.
I don't want
That's a 6-hour flight.
Yeah. Long flight. I don't want to do this, but since you brought it up. Benjamin Solak again. Per ESPN research, only 4 teams have won a playoff game in 6 consecutive seasons. The 91-96 Cowboys won 3 Super Bowls. The 2011-2018 Patriots won 3 Super Bowls. The 2018-2024 Chiefs won 3 Super Bowls. And the Bills have won a playoff game in 6 straight years and have not even played in a Super Bowl. It's got to be conspiracy. I mean, to win a playoff game 6 straight years.
I think the NFL likes that Buffalo's been held down, but the city of Buffalo and all our former players, we need a Super Bowl.
You deserve it.
Josh Allen does too. We finally have a franchise quarterback, the only one we ever had since Jim Kelly. Flutie Flakes maybe, but nobody else.
I know. And they did Flutie Flakes wrong too.
But, yeah, I know. See, it must be conspiracy because I guarantee you, I think that was a forward pass with the New City Miracle.
You know, the Red Sox had the curse of the Bambino, right? Cubs had the curse of the Billy Goat. Maybe there's I don't know. Trying to figure out how to.
We got shut off. Maybe we shut off Niagara Falls or something like that. I don't know.
Screw you, Canada. You lose your tourist attraction.
Exactly, right? Anyways, it's going to be a good game tonight. Maybe the franchise quarterback is crowned tonight. Mendoza or Beck, we shall see. For Austin Orman, I'm Jay Foreman, old school. We'll holler at you tomorrow.